Just getting the final Q3 GDP print here for the U.S. 5.2% versus expectations of 5.2% as well. Again, that's in line with the last preliminary print that we had. Again, 5.2%. Right across the board. So in line with expectations for the most part. Initial jobless claims, 205,000 versus a consensus 215,000 for last week. So downside very slightly there, but overall stronger than expected data coming through. Continuing claims, 1.8 million, 1.865 million versus 1.88 million. Right across the board. So I'm actually seeing a couple of different prints here. You can see this one, 4.9% versus 5.2. I see on a different platform here, 5.2% versus 5.2%. So regardless, still a ton of strength in the overall economy in the U.S. as we head towards the end of the year here as expected. We'll get that PCE print, very important, coming up tomorrow morning. At this point, that will be the final inflation-related data point of the year that the market will pay close attention to. A ton of things overall moving around here, including Micron obviously coming off their report after the close yesterday. We'll talk about Apple back to the upside. It was relatively strong yesterday. Some AI-related headlines coming through for Apple this morning. EV stocks pretty strong, and yeah, Boeing officially delivering back to China once again. It's Thursday, December 21st. It's the first day of winter, 2023. Tradertv.live starts now. Yeah, overall the market upside right now in a pretty big way, back to pre-market highs for the NASDAQ and the S&P, 0.5% right now for the S&P, about 0.7 for the NASDAQ. Apple not really doing much, but gapping to the upside anyways on this. As a Financial Times report this morning suggesting they are as well, as expected, working on some version of AI to compete with everything else that's going on. I'm seeing a few other ones now looking like this, so we'll just go with this one. 4.9% on that GDP print versus 5.2%. Saw on another platform there was actually a 5.2% print as well. So basically in line with expectations, a little bit of a down tick versus what happened in the last preliminary number. Quarter over quarter, the price index, Q3 as well, 3.3 versus 3.5%. So overall, the market liking this. Yeah, I just realized that. It's December 21st. It's the first day of winter. I saw there was a ski conditions report for Whistler today that said bring shorts. Huh. Because it's 10 degrees and raining, apparently, so not very wintry yet around here.
Yeah, the snowmaker is going to be working overtime there. Yeah, interesting look from the economy today. GDP coming in strong. We'll have to see if the earnings can continue to keep up with the GDP prints, because the economy and the market are two different things, guys. So we'll have to wait and see how this does next year.
Wow, what a move here for futures right now. NASDAQ absolutely exploding to the upside, back towards that 16,900 area, or 16,910 right now. S&P back to the upside as well. All is well, guys, all is well.
All is apparently well, although I feel like, Sean, did you wear that yesterday? Because...
Yeah, yesterday, well, see now, yesterday we were like the Grinch, you know, we stole from the market, but today we're giving it back, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing here today. So
that's the plan.
Yeah, I'm off tomorrow. We'll be in to do the podcast, but we are excited here to wear the green today, and it has a little bit of a Grinch.
What'd you do to the...
I elbowed him off.
Oh, okay.
We switched it yesterday. The bear was in question yesterday, because the thing about yesterday was we hit all-time highs, and then it was, as Sharif says, quadunk from that point forward.
The best is when you see all the different people trying to explain the market. I read a bunch of articles last night on the way in, and they're like, okay, so was it an options thing? Was it just we hit the highs and we're selling off a little bit? Was it technical? It's like, who cares? All that matters now is apparently that GDP number. Yeah, you get a little light GDP, and that just means we get our 5 cuts next year, or 1 million cuts, or whatever.
Yeah, million, whatever. I think they said.
A million, yeah, well, 500 million cuts. And then the market decides to just resume. Like Micron broke its 52-week high, so that's going right back up. Everything looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, it's funny because yesterday, Obi was obviously sitting there, and the market was down 0.5%, and he's like, oh my God, this is like, what is happening? And I was like, this is nothing. And then just right now, I mean, look at this chart. Come over to my screen right here.
1%.
I mean, right here, we just up right now 0.9%. We just absolutely, took off right now. And it's like, we didn't make everything back, but, now you're handles away. I mean, you're still 80 handles away back to that 17,000. All we did was retrace back to last Friday. We had 9 straight, was it 8 or 9 straight weeks positive? This is on the precipice right now.
The precipice.
Of finally, that's a Grinch type of word right there. The Grinch is a very educated individual. Too early for the word of the day.
Look, the Grinch is like a master inventor in that. You watch those movies,
that's
like
right.
the guy's not playing around. He's like Elon Musk up in there.
Yeah,
so.
this guy, and he's got.
You've seen the movie, Fabian. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man, he's got that dog pulling that huge ass sled.
Max.
Sleigh. He's way above. He doesn't need no EV. He doesn't need no gas. He got that dog to pull that thing, man.
Exactly.
That's heavy, man. He's trained that dog up. That's how we're doing it. All right. So anyways, now you're up 1%. The market's starting to go. It's going to be a good one here today. I see Fabian's got on his Christmas sweater, so that's real nice. And Adara's in a nice green today as well. And Neil will be rocking tomorrow Christmas sweater day as well with Obi. So that should be real fun. Put on yours, tweet it at us, let's get back to the desk. It's 8:36.
Yeah, a lot to consider here. Just seeing Canadian retail sales for October much higher than expected as well. So despite our economy not holding up as well as the U.S. has, still some underlying strength there for sure. Our friend Rahim Alani has bottles with him. It's 8:30 in the morning, and it's bottle time, according to Rahim. We're going to get a year-end wrap-up for the Canadian side of things with Rahim coming up here in a little bit. Yeah, it's worth mentioning what Sean was saying. The level of panic I saw on X yesterday was a little over the top. I mean, it was, we can have a look at this. When it comes to the overall market, it's 1.5%. For the NASDAQ, 1.5% for the S&P 500, 1.25% for the Dow. The Russell, the worst off. But remember, we had 2 or 3 days last week. The Russell was up 4% every single day. So like Sean was saying, we're just back to last week's levels. So not a huge deal. That's how things are setting up right now. Green across the board. Wanted to mention another number at the bottom here that's kind of interesting. Yields back to the upside. There it is, 10-year. Very slightly, but green on the day, 3.883. Yeah, 3.883 for the 10-year right now. So still significantly lower than what we've been dealing with. But I mean, the market's up 54% on the year. It's due for a bit of a pullback here.
Well, 9 days in a row, Brendo, and yesterday being the worst day we've had on the NASDAQ and the S&P since September. A lot of different reasons swirling around for the sell-off. 0 days to expiry options, profit taking ahead of Christmas, over-exuberance, possibly with where we are versus where we expect to be earnings-wise in Q1 of 2024. Multiple reasons. I guess we'll find out later, but a healthy pullback nonetheless.
Yeah, profit taking across the board. I mean, what a move it's been off the lows, as we've been saying. What a move it's been already today, guys, for Apple here. We'll get into this FT note coming up, but Apple apparently working on AI, but who cares? Because the overall market's liking these numbers today.
Apple also, lifts the market as well, right? And so you're going to get good numbers. You're going to get good news from Apple. I don't have Apple on the sticky note. And the reason why is like, obviously, when you're gonna hear a story about Apple is getting involved with AI, I kind of feel like that's just, it's like, okay, like if Apple was, had production plans for their car eventually or something, that was like a wowie moment, I would say fine. But for right now, I think it's stay the course with Apple. If you come over here to the 20-minute chart, I mean, it's been obviously a nice uptrend. Yesterday, we get that little hiccup in the market. But for me, breaking through this 198, that still has to happen, and you're still a ways away from there. Well, I mean, not a ways away, but even on this move up, you're only at 196 right now. So we'll have to wait to see about this 198. For me, I'd actually prefer a short against that 200, right? And so that's what I'm looking at. We hit down pretty low yesterday, back in through 195 into the close. Again, nice little move back in. And there's the bump that we're seeing in the NASDAQ. Like I said yesterday, we were all worried yesterday, oh my God, the market closed down 1.0% or whatever it was. Well, we're back up there right now again, right? And so Apple will just continue to sort of stay the course. I'm not super I'm not super excited about this catalyst, but I don't think it's negative. But why is Apple not only up 0.6 when the market's up 1? Right? So Apple's still underperforming the market even with this kind of a catalyst, hence why I prefer the 198 short.
Yeah, it's a lagger, man. Like when I was, on Monday when I was here, I was thinking we had Friday 198 level was the jam. On Thursday, the week before, 198 was resistance. Yesterday, it couldn't break it. And the other thing, like you just said there, I mean, it's not even performing as well as the market despite finding some support. So it feels like it's still a fade up there. It's just rejecting that 200. Apple has this way of getting to these key massive round numbers, whether it's the $3 trillion mark or the valuation, the 1, 2, 3, this 200. And when it gets there, you find some resistance. And I just think it's probably still a fade. If you're looking at how things reacted to yesterday, okay, look at the sell-off in Apple. We broke out early, sold it off, and broke through consolidation to take a step lower. Okay, well, what's something that didn't do that and showed a little bit more strength? Well, interestingly enough, okay, well, similar thing, broke out in the morning, Meta here, sold when everything else sold off, but held above the breakout of the last couple of, so Meta spent 2 days breaking away from 347, and then in the pullback the afternoon, it did not get back to 347. That looks like it's a little bit strong to me. Now, obviously, Meta's been really, really strong, but that's a name that should be out there in the Mag 7 as a strong reaction to yesterday's sell-off. And if we're going sky high today, testing 17,000, Meta ought to be breaking the top, at least holding the 350 and the 347 levels back into the downside. Yeah, Apple's still a little bit of a fade. It's, at some point we're going to get that $200 level, but I don't think it's today.
To Raheem. He's going to jump in here in a second, but very generous, and we appreciate his time as always. Wanted to mention CRM here real quick. We were talking about this yesterday on the negative side of things. It was down in the pre-market, comes right back, ends the day basically where it started after getting flat throughout the midday. But an upgrade here this morning for Salesforce. If you missed it yesterday, Slack specifically, COO of Slack was gone. More executive changes coming through. It seemed like that was really the only reason. Yeah. And hence the move back up early on yesterday.
I just dragged the picture from one side of the upgrades and downgrades to the other, Brendo.
Perfect.
Yesterday downgraded, today upgraded. Morgan Stanley liking this to the tune of $350. That's a price target upgrade from $290, saying basically they see new product bundling and the company's data cloud offering to drive revenue growth into 2025, Brendo. So Morgan Stanley with a good note here.
Yeah, right through, what is that, Tuesday's high, I guess. We're trying to get through Tuesday's high right now. 266.5, guys, for CRM as the market continues.
Yeah, buddy. Now we're 30 points away from 17,000. Man, by the time Raheem sits down, we'll be at 17,000. So CRM, I had to pull out a monthly chart, which is interesting because I find the market rally has gotten so big that the weekly chart's just not doing justice in terms of getting back into resistance levels. So when you pull out the monthly, you still have room to get to 300. That is that big top going all the way back into, I guess this time 2022 or somewhere around there. So it's a very similar setup between CRM and Boeing, and I probably like Boeing a little bit better today, but you do have the same consolidation, like almost a week-long consolidation, or this week's consolidation top, setting up to break out off a 52-week high. So you have a strong uptrend. You've got a consolidation up at the top here. The catalyst, I don't care for an upgrade catalyst as much as I do like potential orders for Boeing, which is a bit of a better one, but it's still a good look. If there's buyers above here, 67s, this is probably worth a join at some point today. There's lots and lots of room on the daily chart. You got over 10% here, like I said, till you get to a big level on the daily for CRM. I think the party continues here. I just don't know if this is the best day trade out there, if there's going to be breakout setups. I feel like there's a few other names that are better, but hey, in the long term, you're not gonna go wrong here.
Yeah, look, I like Mark Benioff. I like Einstein. And that's just going to be another name there that continues to work as we continue to look at AI and how it can improve customer relationships, right? I mean, CRM is exactly that. It's the database. It's holding all the records. I don't have it up. I just have Apple up here. So, but I mean, Neil just talked about all those levels. A pullback into 260 would be nice, but you're at 266 right now. So I think you just kind of leave it alone, but you could break that top, which you're doing. So I think 266 long on CRM just makes sense, especially with this market up 1.1%. I think you can, here, I don't have it up. Hold on a second. I was looking at my other screen, that's why. But yeah, look at this market pull back here. I feel like here's VWAP right now at 265. So if it comes back in, we like to say when you gap, then you can play the VWAP. So I feel like down there up to 265, that could be a play. We made a similar play on Google the other day, and that worked out for $2 or $3. I mean, what a great day yesterday was on, you know, in the afternoon. We rammed a firm down through $50, got out near 46. That was absolutely huge. We had Shopify, look at them all battling back, right? We had Shopify yesterday short at 50, not 50, short somewhere, I don't even remember now, 78, something like that. Huge move down on Shopify. I mean, look at this dramatic move yesterday. We were short right here on Shopify, 78.50. It dropped down to $75, right? So a lot of these names starting to get back going, and you're just gonna use some of these levels from yesterday as past areas to short again here today. Look at this market, up 1%, trying to pull back a little bit. But yeah, CRM, I think that's the play for today if you're looking for an aggressive long with Catalyst.
All right, there he is, Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Groups here in Toronto, back with us again, and brought presents.
For everybody.
Thank you. Santa Claus comes early. Good to see you. We're going to do a little bit of a year wrap-up for 2023. It's been a crazy year, obviously. The Canadian market nowhere near as exciting as the U.S. market, or as positive as the U.S. market. We'll touch on a few winners, we'll touch on a few losers, and we'll get a look at what's to come in 2024. But from a higher perspective here, just as a roundup, give us your thoughts as far as 2023 was concerned.
Yeah, 2023, like you said, it's been an interesting year for Canadian companies. Not as actively exciting as the U.S. Like we're talking just about what's happened just this morning with the U.S. versus what's happening with Canada. We are typically a more tepid response to almost everything out there. And again, because we're tied a little bit more closely to things like price of oil, price of gold. So things haven't been as necessarily as correlative as they've been in the U.S. when you see just a number happen and then all of a sudden everything moves with it. The big seven, obviously the U.S., drive everything top level wise. Canadian companies have fared well, especially on the tech side. They have done well. Mining companies have done well. Obviously, everyone's just petrified around all things related to inflation and interest rates, and that's just a conversation that's been happening since, you know, I want to call it the last 6, 9, 12, 18 months. Yeah. That's all we've been talking about, and AI, of course. So those are all the things that are happening here, but I think, again, the response here is a little bit more slower than it is in the U.S.
Yeah, from an economic standpoint, you and I were just talking, the simple fact that, you know, we've had 2 negative GDP prints in this country. You know, we get a second print this morning in the U.S., 4+%.
Right.
On the growth side of things in Q3 versus our economy is not really doing much.
Yeah, no, and I think that, again, that relates to where the optimism is around rate cuts in the U.S. versus the optimism around rate cuts here, and how that all ties into your real estate, how that ties into where you're going to spend some of your free cash. Are you going to go put it back into the markets? I think Canada, again, is a little, just as human nature, I think we're a little bit more passive when it comes to those things as well. Yeah. So you're seeing a slower correlation with that potential free cash returning to the market as much as it's more immediate in the U.S.
All right, let's talk about a few themes here overall that have worked in 2023, and we'll touch on, as you said, basically everything else that didn't in the Canadian market. But I want to show this just to start things off. This is gold. The metal, price of the metal, gets all-time highs going back to a couple of weeks ago, a bit of a pullback. We're right there again, though, like back to 2050, 2040, whatever it is this morning, 2046, I guess, for gold, pushing back towards those highs. From a mining perspective, though, things have not really correlated.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time, again, in my memory, where the correlation hasn't, like we were just saying, hasn't been as immediate as it's been in the past, especially with the producers. You look at your Barricks, your Kinrosses, guys like that. When the price of gold moves up, it's almost line in line. The charts will almost, sit on top of each other. And if anybody that wants to do the homework, we can take a look at, send it in to Brendan.
Yeah.
And we'll read it after. If you look at the chart of some of these guys against former upswings in gold, downswings in gold, and this upswing in gold, I don't think the delta has been as high in some of the producers. And again, I think that's just tied back into a little bit more of the passiveness that comes into the market. Interest rates and inflation, all those things can tie directly to the price of gold, as we've seen. And gold has now broken 2,000, and it's stayed above 2,000 for a sustained period here. But the same thing, but those large producers aren't seeing that same percentage uptick that we would have normally seen.
Right. We'll get to projections going into next year in a second, but talk a little bit about AI. What is from the Canadian standpoint, what is the go-to name or a few of the go-to names when it comes to AI?
I think, again, with Canada, we do have a great small cap venture community, and we are seeing some of these names that came out as hot AI names have slowly started to peter down. Some of the larger names that are just the tech-heavy names, like the Shopifys and the Lightspeeds of the world, they're always going to have their place in the Canadian economy. But we don't have that same sort of AI, thus NVIDIA. Right. That the U.S. has. BlackBerry announced that they were going to do some stuff. BlackBerry is, I just heard it's a little bit down. It's going to be looking down this morning because they haven't followed through with some of the things that they were talking about. So there aren't necessarily the same, like you can snap a finger and point and say AI thus,
that's
right? Yeah.
Let's talk about, you mentioned it, Shopify here, obviously on the e-commerce side of things, benefiting tremendously from that. We had some impressive numbers, to say the least, come out from this company around Black Friday and Cyber Monday, going back a couple of weeks ago in the U.S. specifically, but nice looking daily chart for Shop.
Yeah, great daily chart. They announced their merchants put through over $9 billion of transactions on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So if you look at the one-year chart, it is one of the most impressive one-year charts in Canada. It's about 117% year to date. When you expand that chart to the 3 and 5 year, it doesn't look as great because we've been talking about Shopify being a darling of the Canadian markets for quite a while. But on the 1 year trend, it's looking amazing. A lot more small, medium businesses are coming onto the platform. They've got a new loans program that they've created for small, medium businesses. That's done exceptionally well from what I've read. So you're seeing a great chart. You're seeing Shopify somewhere around just shy of $100 right now, and going as low as 74 over the year. So great 1 year chart and great numbers coming out. Again, not as well and frothy as it was 3 and 5 years ago. And I think there will start to be some competition coming into the market for Shopify from places like Salesforce and things like that. There will be more competition coming in, but as long as they keep executing and adding in merchants, I think they'll do well.
We were talking going back a couple of weeks ago, that new building down at Spadina in front.
The Well?
In the Well.
Yeah.
They took 3 floors, I think, in that building. So things aren't that bad if you are Shopify.
If you can afford to buy 3 floors in Toronto, you're doing well.
Go for it. Let's talk about the dollar store space here. Going back to the pandemic, we were mentioning these as ones that could be, a place to hide possibly as we went through that time, which is crazy. It's almost 3-4 years ago, whatever it is now. But here's Dollarama, also positive on the year so far.
They're sitting around $92 right now. They've traded between $74 and $100. They announced results just a little while ago. Same-store sales were up 11%. They're guiding around 11-12%. Putting out a dividend again, share buyback that they're doing again. Like I say, if you love yourself, you buy yourself, and they really have bought themselves. They bought 1.7 million shares of themselves for $160 million. So we're seeing that. Again, that was just one of those names that we tied to inflationary pressures. When things go up as high as they go in the grocery stores, do people then move into, say, a Dollarama to buy a smaller quantity good or lower priced good? And I think we've seen that. Their same-store sales continue to grow. They're opening more stores. So it's one of those inflationary pressure names.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into the exciting part here. What's going to happen coming up next year? We touched on gold a little bit. I mean, if the theme is now shifting towards cuts from hikes on the interest rate side of things and inflation is allegedly under control, is this going to continue, this move in not only gold, but some of these gold producers?
I strongly believe that if we do have inflation sedated and interest rates, people can sort of take a step off the ledge and believe that their mortgage payments are going to come back in line and interest rates will move correctly, I think we'll start to see more money come back into the market that's been on the sidelines. And I think that money will start to make its way into names, and I think especially into the small cap names that have all been buried. I know I joked around earlier that pick our top 3 and bottom 3 of the year, and the bottom 3 is
basically everything else.
Throw a dart at the dartboard, and you'll hit a bottom 3 name, right? There's the number of names that are down 90% year to date is too long. It's enough for a wrapping paper for all the gifts around here. So I think that money will start to come back into the market, and I think we'll start to see that. And I specifically think because of all the talk around critical metals, I think we'll see a lot of movement into those commodities. I've talked about this extensively: copper, zinc, the base metals that are going to be important in the critical metal space. We're going to see a lot of movement there, deal making wise. And I think once dollars become available to get back into the market, we'll see that touch into not only gold, because there will be movement back into the gold names, but specifically into the coppers and the zincs of the world as well.
All right, if interest rates are coming down, that could spur some activity on the lending side of things, benefiting some of the financial tied names. Also, you had clean tech on your list. Explain that.
I think, again, with everything that's happening in critical metals, there's going to be an upswing into mining, I believe. And with that comes, you still have to offset that with let's do good for the world and keep it safe and clean. And we're going into political rhetoric. So you could talk about cannabis till the sun comes up, but I also think that one of the things that will start to emerge is the good for you things that we need to do for the world. So there's going to be more deal making, I think, into the solar side of things, into clean energy initiatives that are going to go both into new home construction, like in Ontario, they're announcing hundreds of millions of dollars for new homes. There will be clean tech initiatives tied into that. There will be, solar deals that are going to be done. So I do believe that there will be more deal making and more initiatives onto the clean tech space. I was just speaking with somebody the other day. He just sold a project, put $41 million onto their balance sheet, and they're going to be continuing to look at deal flows in that space because there is private equity money that's looking back into the space. I think there is going to be a lot of deal movement.
Yeah. Banks, the other one, they have lagged overall as far as Canadian banks specifically versus the U.S. banks, but held up, I guess, better than expected in the current environment. As we said, maybe more activity getting pushed back that way going into next year.
Again, we've talked about Canadian banks. They are a little bit more cautious overall. So the provisions for bad loans, bad loss, all of those things get tied in, and thus the banks are negatively affected when interest rates do move to the wrong side. Almost all the banks, I believe, have done some deal making into the U.S. and internationally that has caused some consternation in sort of their ability to execute and close on those deals. So whether those actually come to fruition and will there be more deal making, I think that trend might slow down a little as they right-size their ships here in Canada.
Holiday plans? You sticking around or?
Yeah, no, we'll be in town for the next few days. We got some travel coming up in January, so gonna look forward to resting.
Exactly. Rahim Alani, all the best. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you very much, Rahim. Great friend of the show, and he came bearing gifts.
Yeah, we got 2 of them right here.
And knowledge as well, as things get dropped over.
We've only opened 2 bottles so far.
And finished 2 bottles.
It's all good. Well, you got to have those mimosas early on in the day, right?
That's what it's for. So,
all right. Nice little sparkling wine action here. All right.
We should crack one for the afternoon.
Hey, product of Chile, the Chilean nightmare over there. All right, I'll put it down here because we were talking about maybe hitting it over.
Do not want to elbow it.
And elbowing those up. But some interesting names there. Canada does have a lot of opportunities. I mean, I feel that, we were actually just talking when you just mentioned Canadian Tire. I mean, there's some good retail spaces there. I like the clean energy talk. I feel like that's where we're moving. You always want to be a little bit ahead of the game. And those are some great ideas. I would just definitely suggest Rewind, especially if you are an investor here north of the border. Figure out some names that you like. I was looking, some of the Canadian banks you could probably lean into a little bit. I don't know. There's a lot of opportunity. You mentioned Shopify as well, Brendo, talking about moving up in the real estate space there. So, yeah, things are happening. Shopify's had a really nice run.
That name got beat up. I was about to pull it up, but I always had this tendency of pulling it up in Toronto instead of New York, but I'll just change it right here for you guys. But it has been a great run for Shopify. And as a matter of fact, this is a name, when we talk about things at key levels and consolidations, oh, my beautiful line at 75, which I now have to redraw. That's one that got essentially right back into the 75 support level yesterday. And what the good thing about a day like yesterday, it's not fun when the market goes down, is when you have those kind of big events, you can end up identifying key levels or affirming key levels. And in this case, you reaffirmed that 75 was support on Shopify. I mean, it's been for a week and a half. You just look at it. It speaks for itself. I think if we see anywhere close to that today, you look for a dip buy in there on Shop. Maybe if it were to break down, you could talk about it as a flat bottom break, but that is always a silver lining when you have a wild day in the markets, is you tend to see where the buyers emerge. And when you reaffirm a level like that, it just means, hey, you're gonna like it. If it gets down to that price, we try to trade key price levels. It helps when the stock is in a general uptrend, as this one obviously is with Shopify. So have a look for that 75. The way this market's going, I'm not sure we even see it though.
At the market here as we get towards 9 o'clock, still holding up nicely here overall off that number this morning. I mean, 4% if you missed it, 4+% if you missed it on the GDP print for the final Q3 GDP print. So good luck.
Yeah, Brendo, not a bad look. Should I?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, 47.50, guys. That's where we closed out yesterday after that big sell-off, starting at around 230. But we did hold support there quite nicely. So if we do make it back down, look for 47.50 to be that level of support to the high side. Let's say 4,800, even though we did close prior to a higher than 4,800 the day prior to yesterday. So let's look to see if we can clear 4,800 to the high side.
All right, let's get some trade ideas going here as we head towards the open. We have a ton to get through this morning. So if you haven't done so, watchlist.tradertv.live or scan that QR code. It'll take you right there. You add your email address. Yes, Fabian, it is. And you get that for free. 7% for Micron here this morning to the upside off of earnings after the close yesterday. If you're with Sean in the recap show, he brought that to you live. Pretty good move, to say the least. Not only after the close yesterday, back to 82.83, but here we go this morning higher. I mean, not much negativity coming from this report.
Well, they reported a loss, but it's the guidance here in the future. The future for AI and where they play a part in that is really what's buoying the stock, especially when you look at the RAM that they're actually going to provide to these data centers. Those are a much higher price than the RAM that you put in your computer or your laptop. Therefore, the margins are a lot higher. So looking for a lot of scaling here and a lot of demand. And with respect to the PC cycle, we know that that's about a 3-4 year cycle. So with respect to all the upgrades that were done during COVID, from a retail perspective, upgrades are due next year and the year after that. So good look for them for guidance.
Yeah, I mean, if you zoom out a little bit, I mean, this is the one that really hasn't gone as far as the chips are concerned. Obviously a different end of that business that they look into, but I guess it's just by all the chip makers.
Yo,
yeah,
Randy, what's going on, my guy? Come on, man, you're about more than coffee.
Guess who's back?
Again.
I knew you had that.
You can come over here, Raheem, if you want to come in the picture here, because we're discussing football. Do you have a favorite football team?
The Bears. No.
The Bears? Well, we're no longer friends being the Packers.
The Winnipeg Jets.
And Raheem, can we get a prediction on the Baltimore Ravens this year?
Super Bowl bound?
I don't disagree. I don't.
Maybe.
Neil, comment on Super Bowl bound?
They have to get through the Buffalo Bills, which is not happening. So the Buffalo Bills. Every.
They're gonna have to come to Baltimore to play.
That's fair. That's a good point.
Which is fine.
That's fair. No, the Ravens look fantastic though.
They do look fantastic. Shout out to Lamar if he's watching. He sometimes side messages.
Have you met Lamar?
I have met Lamar. Yeah.
Tall dude.
He's a little bigger than I am. Slightly
I don't
larger.
know. I don't know why he's not going like this.
He's not as well dressed though.
He is not as well dressed. Sorry, Lamar. He is not as well dressed, but that's okay. I've tried to talk him into getting some tailored clothing, but
There goes Randy.
Randy is. I was gonna have the same conversation.
Randy just like football? No, I'm out of here.
Football and tailoring clothes.
Close, I'm out of here.
It's a designer Tukey wears, though, right?
Thank you so much, Raheem, for the very kind gifts, and thank you for everything you've done for
Anytime,
Trader
guys.
TV Live this year and all the previous ones as well. So,
Of course.
happy holidays to you and yours.
brother.
All right, put this mic away. All right, thank you, Raheem. I still got to get used to that. Like, I'm holding the mic like this, but I have a mic.
It's just normal.
And then it probably is negative feedback or something.
No, I think.
I have no idea.
Oh,
what
it's
I
fine.
have no idea
Fabian,
what
it's
I'm doing.
fine. So Micron good, 7%. Last I checked is a good day. Obviously, you can look at it when you see a daily chart. Okay, fine, it's breaking out. It's already happened. At the end of the day, it would have been really, really nice if this thing was still trading at 83 because, well, you know, resistance to support and then longs off of this 83 and 82.5 area. Maybe it'll come back into last week's high and give you a trade off of the 84 level. But I look for resistance to turn support when you're breaking out. So that's 84, the 83 level as well on any dips for Micron. It has been trend up. Talk about opportunities yesterday. I mean, you don't know they're going to guide better on that sell-off yesterday. But so many stocks pulled right into some obvious areas of support and then tried to bounce. It didn't get very far. So your only play for a lot of them would have been to try to hold overnight. So the guide is the case here because they're still losing money actually with Micron. But remember, Micron's a very secular company. So you don't wait around for things to get better for it to start going up. Once the bottom tends to be in and there's a light at the end of the tunnel, Micron seems to always start to do well. And then it works both ways, right? Like the second you hit a bit of a current turn, they can start heading down faster than some of the other semi names. But a good day today. I'd like to see 84 or 83 on dip buys at the open. Let's see what happens at 9:30. Still got 25 minutes till the open.
Yeah, I wrote down on a sticky note today a name that we want to look at that we traded yesterday as well is going to be Intel. So I just, I don't have any catalysts on this. So, you know, if it's going to float up here on Micron's report, they're not the same company. They're not even really that close. So I want to fade some of these names. I mean, yesterday I feel like was a little telling, obviously, and unfortunately I have this marker here, but you know, nice move down there in the afternoon. I just don't see any reason why we're going to be taking out 47 here today. Obviously, we have that Micron news and we could be dead wrong about it, and it does start to rip up. But 47's been pretty good all week. Let's just see if it holds that level. And I want to, you know, first position today. I have the order out already. It's probably going to hit, so I would think a short in and around 47. And I'm not going to wait. That's 47.30. I'm just going to get out immediately if we take like 47. Maybe give it to 47.05 or something like that. But if it gets going early, we do not want to stand in the way of any of these names. Just like we saw the cascade down yesterday, this market like could easily, there's nothing standing in the way. Like, look how easy this goes up on those economic numbers. You know, like, I don't know. Let's just wait to see what it can do and when the market's open. And then plus you still have AMD hovering around. Now, again, a lot of these levels that I looked at were before 8:30. But AMD, if we can, okay, so it's not up there. I thought maybe we'd be a little closer to 140. But if you can rip up to that 140 level, again, the levels that we were at before we dropped in, then I like to short all this again. I want to see the bulls win. That's all. And if they're not going to, then I just say, I don't think more of this, but you got to get over yesterday's levels. So if that does, yeah, I'm not super bullish, but if we can get back up to those levels, then we will turn into this again, because I don't see it. And by the way, the Santa Claus rally officially starts tomorrow. So tomorrow is the start of the Santa Claus rally, the 5 market days heading into the close. So you get Monday off, then you get 4 next week plus 1 tomorrow. So the Santa Claus rally starts tomorrow. So, the Grinch is here today, but tomorrow it's Christmas time. So get those, what's it called? Wild Beast. The Wild Beast is what they eat there in Whoville.
Roast beast.
I'm going roast beast. Yeah, you got to roast it first.
You got to roast it.
And then, so we'll be going down to Whoville later on today and seeing what's going on with all them.
My favorite, my daughter's favorite thing about the Grinch movies is that he has like superhuman strength in all of them.
Yeah,
because he has the sleigh, which holds more or less like every single gift in Whoville and like all the decorations, and he's able to like hoist it over his head in one film, and another one he's just literally like hanging and able to hold on to it.
Well, he goes down the chimneys with the guy's Grinch, very fleet of foot.
He's a
very
genius.
Strong. He's a genius. So I'm nothing like the Grinch. So, all right. So let's go, man. Thoughts on NEO? Yeah, we'll talk all about EVs.
SSR bounce. Well, yes, we'll
Some
talk
EVs
about
are
that.
coming up now. Apple AI?
According to the Financial Times, Apple is hard at work on their own large language model that is going to specifically be aimed at the phone and handheld devices, iPads, I guess, as well, across the board. So Apple's typically never the first, but when they do eventually get there, they're typically the best.
Yeah.
So in Apple fashion, you know, they're taking their time on AI. I wanted to mention this as well. This came out yesterday, late in the day, fast tracking the Pro, or the Vision Pro production, and set for a February launch.
Yeah, with respect to AI, I just really hope it improves Siri, Brendo, because Siri's horrible.
Can't get worse.
No, it can't get worse. I mean, especially with relation to, if you compare it to Google, Google's just much more superior. I've never had my test with Alexa, but yeah, I'm looking definitely for some improvements there through AI. With respect to the Vision Pro, I'm hearing that they're scaling it, and they're scaling it aggressively for a February launch, Brendo. But here's the thing, it's not gonna be like you can just buy it off the shelf and take it home. No, 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 no. You gotta go into the Apple store and have it fitted. So there's a whole process here, yeah. It's like when they started selling the watch initially, you just wouldn't take the watch and go home. No, they want to show you the features so you could really kind of get involved with the product. Looks like they're gonna do that here.
I guess in the Apple store in the Eaton Center this winter, over January, February, March in Canada, lines are going to be longer than expected for the Vision Pro. But still, I haven't seen an actual pricing model after that came out late yesterday. But I mean, they were saying $3,500 for this thing,
US.
going back to the launch. So it ain't cheap for Apple.
No, but I mean, price hasn't really deterred people from buying Apple products for some time. So, you know, I'm not terribly worried about that. I'm just worried about the resistance that the stock is at this moment. It's been a great rally, and it's not breaking away. Since this made the fresh high, breaking out the July highs, it couldn't take 200. As a matter of fact, it couldn't get to 200, and you've been stair-stepping down. So another lower high off the 198. 198's a bit of a loose level because it's traded slightly above it. We failed 200, then the next day it was slightly above a couple times, and then actually that's the last time I got to trade it, was off the 198 level. And then the day after is when you saw the 195 bottom. I don't know if we have enough strength to get back up to that top, but I think it's a fade. What you do have, it works in both directions. When you get a day like yesterday, you will get wipeout bottoms that go into key support levels and reaffirm that support. The other thing that ends up getting set up is, okay, well, when this whole mess started, you were at 197 when it rolled over.
Oh, yes,
Thank you very much, Randy. So that 197 also becomes a quick little level for us.
Possible Chinese
Appreciate it, brother.
U.S. tariffs on Chinese EV
not
imports.
Good.
That's what we were worried about. That's what we were worried about.
It could impact BYD and some of the bigger guys, but
all right. Oh my God, this guy's
You
loving
and-
oil
you and
these days,
XOM.
man. All right, well, I'll call up XOM for Randy.
For the record, Chevron did better off that bottom. I'm just throwing it out
Oh, it's
there.
back down today. Oil must be down a little bit today. XOM did have a nice move on the daily. We bottomed out there at 98. We made a move up to 103.50. Now back into 100. This is looking really good, man, at these levels. I feel like you want to buy oil here. Down here, you're waiting for the rig count. We talked about that. So yeah, should be an exciting move for oil. I don't know about today, but we'll wait. We'll wait and see. All right. Okay. So yeah, look, I've already talked about Apple. I feel the same way about Apple that we felt pretty much all week, and ever since we got back to 200, it's the same play. It's just like, you know, why not just short this thing until you're wrong? It's easy. Like, it just either breaks 200 or it doesn't. And like I said yesterday, this 198, I should have put it on the sticky note. I really like this level to short. Anything back into here, it's probably better at 197 than you can use 198 as your out, or even 197.70. If anything taught us yesterday, like this move down, like if you only took 20 cents, you know, then you miss the $2. So I still feel like if you do get short in here, you do want to scalp something out, but then wait to see if you do get an outsized move. It could be either way today. It could be the long or the short. But we saw a lot of sort of liquidity dry up there in the afternoon and everything. There was no more buyers, right? And so I feel like there could be no more sellers until we get into some of these levels again as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little bit of a move up with the NASDAQ being up that 1% right now here early. So that's something that I'm looking at, but I would fade Apple, anything near in and around that 197. They're changing the game on the VR. I mean, the price that it comes out with is only gonna matter to poor folk like me. People are going to buy this thing. It's just a matter of getting it out, marketing it.
Dollar says you buy it within a year.
No, I won't buy it within a year because my kid likes the Oculus.
Oh, because you have the
We already have the Oculus.
Yeah,
we bought that when that was released, and then, like I said, I don't have enough money for that, but there's a lot of people that do. Like everyone is like, oh my God, they're charging this much money for iPhones. Now every phone is that price. You know, it's just a matter of people are gonna have to come up and do that. If you wanna get a sub-quality product, I think there's only two right now, right? There's the PlayStation VR is there, and then there's Oculus. So that this is a third adding to it, and it is gonna be a higher tier. So there's tiers to everything.
And that price will come down in a couple of years.
Yeah, there's tiers to everything. Apple, I feel like, will always win. So
I know my dad's gonna buy it.
Yeah, I think people will buy it. I don't know.
All right, let's go to EV land. I'm going to pull up Kathy's ARC here because she was in there buying Tesla over the past couple of days in a big way, too. But there's this tariff note. We'll jump over to Sharif's screen here just to start. But there's this tariff note that the U.S. government, as Sean was mentioning there, could initially start tariffing anything coming out of China.
Yeah, and they're not the first, Brenda. We've been talking about Europe doing this, where they export many more cars. I'm talking about Xpeng, I'm talking about NIO, I'm talking about BYD. Those are the export versions or the export companies of Chinese EVs, and many more of them go to Europe than they go to the United States. We'll have to wait and see what happens here. I don't know exactly what the U.S. market is for some of these Chinese EVs. I don't see too many of them here, at least. But yeah, another step in the kind of battle between America and China.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. And are they just jumping the gun here, getting ready for the inevitable of them trying to come over here? But no, it's a good point. That's Tesla, 2% right now. Yeah, Kathy Wood in there, the Innovation Fund, buying up 93,965 shares of Tesla, about 23.2 million as of the close yesterday. This site not updated as of yet, but those were the sells going back to September and October. So kind of flipping the switch or flipping the plan here as far as Kathy Wood is concerned, guys. Back in there buying Tesla again.
Yeah, back in the fray is Kathy, and Kathy, as we like to say around here. But so we'll talk a couple of names here. One, obviously Tesla. If we see 246, okay, fine. Like that's a big level just based on what happened yesterday, and then going all the way back to the 14th. But shout out to this 250. Now, when you get a fall like yesterday, and then a resistance comes in at about 249.5 with previous support, if it holds out that level, that can be the initial dip buy. So I think like if 250 were to break, I'd look like initial dip just under there to try to find some support. But I want to shout out to this because NIO obviously had a bad day yesterday. I mean, a lot of stocks had a bad day, but this pulled back 10%. Which sets it up SSR, which sets it up for a potential bounce day. If you can hold on to $8, I think you could have an SSR bounce here. That's a gimmicky style play over there with NIO. And then the one that we usually look at in addition to Tesla over here is going to be RIVN. It needs to get through this top. So I'd like it, ideally 25 would break, but 24.5 is a bit of a double top. I think there's room to get to that, so I could take the stairs to the upside as long as the trend sets up in the morning. But the 24.5 break is going to be tricky because you have 25 up top. But I am looking for this to go. So there's a couple of ways that can set up. Maybe we can get something off the pre-market, kind of dipping and ripping and holding the pre-market lows there. The other play would be it just takes out this pre-market high, 23.80. And then we just sort of try scalping on the way to 24.50. But I only want to be looking for a long play on RIVN. If it just starts failing those levels, I'll probably jump in somewhere else. Oh, I forgot to mention Mullen's open. So Mullen, which is a 1-to-100 reverse split, it's done a few thousand shares. It's going to be pretty thin, but I'm only looking one direction on Mullen today. I'm going to look for an opportunity to short it. The second there's a short setup, I'm just going to try taking it. If I get stopped out, I'll probably look for another. And if I get stopped out, I'll look for another. I'm not thinking about a long on Mullen. So it was like 8 cents to $8, obviously. It's already trading underneath $8. It is what it is, man. You know what these things do when they reverse split. This is the third reverse split for Mullen in the last 8 months. I don't know a stock that's done that before, to be honest with you. I'm sure it exists, but it's a bit ridiculous. But it's happening, and the last 2 times, it fell more or less like every day for the next, like it was like 9 out of 10 days, it would fall. It was falling after the last couple of reverse splits, all the way back down into the pennies.
Yeah, some of these names, man. Hello? Missed it again.
Got to be quick.
Kathy, just call me after the show. There's too much going on. Me and Neil, we got to do this thing here. Okay, so just real quick here. We wrote it down on our sticky note again. Hold on, I have that animation somewhere. There it is. Okay, so right here, U.S. EV names jumping on China tariff possibilities. It's U.S. tariff, but yeah, on China names. ARC buying yesterday, thanks to Kathy Wood. We just had her call in, but we'll take that call after. Long today, 250 needs to break in order to be worried. So we wrote that right there on the sticky note, right? So you can go find it. I like the 252 long, but we did have a little note here. We wrote down all these levels pre the NASDAQ jumping like crazy at 8:30. So let's have a quick look right now at what we're doing. The market is pulling back, right? And Tesla's doing the same thing. And look, what a surprise. 252. Again, we wrote this, 8 o'clock. Now 252, about as gold as it can be. That level's held now for an hour. So I feel like we're dead on that level right there. Here's 252 right here on the 20-minute. That's where we got it from. So let's see if these bottoms want to hold. Well, I guess it would be resistance at this point because it is holding. It's bouncing off of it back in. I think if you can get a long down at 250 where the 200 period is, I really like that. And it looks like we may be able to get that right off the jump. It's just a matter of I just feel that it's going to be tough to be super aggressive here early because I'm still not convinced this is a long day. I'm not convinced at all. The market has really given something back here. If you're looking at the NASDAQ, we had that move up on the number. That's great. Lots of nice volume. And now you're just starting to fade out with a couple good red candles in a row here, bouncing back down. 16.9 is where VWAP is. I feel like it wants to go back to its home. And if it gets back in there, then you got to play short because if you keep breaking lower, then you have that worry. And we have a nice top right here. It's only 60 handles away. So there could be, I don't want to say a rug pull. I don't think that that's even what we've experienced yet. But, the market could have just sort of window dressed at 8:30, and now it's like trying to trap potentially bulls up at some of these levels. So I'm going to try to be as cautious as I can. We've had one red day this month, and I'm not about to make a stupid mistake here. ARM has really been really aggressive to the upside as well. ARM's a great stock. Fisker's looking dead as ever. Yeah, so let's watch out for Tesla. We'll probably sit around 250 and see if we can get a dip buy early.
All right, let's go to Spotify here. Up big time on pretty light volume. Not a ton of trading going on, but nice look. 2.5%, in fact, trying to hold on to 193.5. Right now for Spotify. I will happily continue to pay whatever it is that I'm paying for Spotify. That's Apple, disregard that chart. But Pivotal Research coming out, upgrading Spotify to a buy, raising their price target to 265. I don't know why I didn't know this already, but I recently discovered the audiobooks in Spotify.
Yes, you got to pay though.
Yeah, you do have to pay, but I mean, you got to pay anywhere. But it just consolidates it, so you don't have to have 3 or 4 different apps. But I don't know why I didn't know that before.
Yeah, no, I just saw the tab too, so I'm with you on that one. Guys, this one is up 139% year to date. It's been a good year for Spotify. They just increased rates in Canada. I know they increased rates in the United States as well. Here's what Pivotal said. They're saying that they're winning the audio streaming content war, allowing it to continue generating solid content and ARPU growth, average revenue per user. It says the new hire of the CFO is also focused more on driving EBITDA, and it's a step in the right direction, Brendo. 19 of 32 brokerages have this as a buy.
Yeah, a little bit light, as I mentioned on the volume side of things. What is it? Yeah, 26,000 shares right now, but pretty good gap here, guys, for Spot.
Well, I mean, obviously this stock is going to reach all-time highs ever since the Tradertv.live podcast got to Spotify. So, I mean, let's be real for a second. But at the end of the day, in all seriousness, the volume is pretty low here. And the bad news would be if you look at if you just zoom in on the daily here, is you had just broken down off of what was a consolidation off the highs. That $200 level got rejected. You broke the support briefly underneath 190 yesterday, so you're gapping back above it. I think 190 is like the Alamo there. Like if it doesn't hold on to that, this was something which was pulling back regardless of the move that happened in the afternoon yesterday. This is a stock that was already pulling back off its highs. So if the market were to roll over, I think this one's probably is the other direction. Like underneath 190, I think you'd be looking for a short. But just a note, CCL came out with their earnings and are moving around a little bit here. Oh, it's already back up. CCL does this when they report in the mornings, but Carnival was down, I don't know, like 60, 70 cents there, but already recovering. The call is going to obviously be sometime during the open, so I'd be careful trading this, but it looks like it's already recovered after their earnings and guide.
Yeah, that was weird that we just saw that go down. Neil was like, what happened to CCL? I was like, I think it was earnings, but they have a funny way to report those, of course. And I don't know, like, why would you report it at like 9:50?
I hate that.
But anyways, all right. What are we talking about? Spotify. You know what? Let's just pass because I haven't looked at it today. Let's go back over to the desk because we only have 5 minutes. Mara's been a great trade over the last little while. Bitcoin continues to move. Bitcoin right now 43.9. So I don't have anything on Spotify, but I do agree with Neil that you might want to buy the stock because the podcasts are about to blow up over there.
We were just reading on Kathy Wood's trades yesterday. She sold a ton of GBTC, like 400,000 shares of GBTC yesterday. She was busy, but never not busy enough to call us. Mara, let's talk about that. Speaking of Bitcoin, back to the upside once again today. What a day it was, or what a week it's been, let's be honest.
Yep.
There was that upgrade yesterday. Nothing really significant today, but still very active.
Yeah, Mara was an absolute rocket. We were talking about that on the midday show yesterday. Let's have a look at the Bitcoin chart here because I think this is really telling the story. We had a big move up, Brendo, into 44,000, and then we found resistance there. But look at the incrementally higher lows that we're putting on every dip in our move back into 44,000. So a very, very bullish looking chart.
Yeah, it came off pretty hard late in the day with the overall market on that sell-off, but still ended the day positive, yeah, versus where it closed the prior day anyway. Back above that 23 right now, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if 44,000 gets taken out and there's any run to 45,000, you're just looking at a 24 breakout on Mara. So that's right here. It was a double top when everything sort of fell apart in the afternoon yesterday. And so you look at that level for potential break. I don't know if the 23 is gonna matter, but we know 22. It's not just a close price, but that at the open there was a dip and rip going into that level as well. The Coinbase might be just as interesting as well for the 170 level to come into play, if we do get a test of that 45,000 up top. If that happens, then it's been like a grip it and rip it type of situation. Like the stock has just been, they've all been rallying. You just don't want to get in the way of it if Bitcoin is taken out high. So I think you got to respect levels like this. I'll have my eye on that 45,000. If I see us reject a breakout, then I look for shorts off those levels. If I see us fly through it, then I look for long off those breakouts. It's pretty simple. You just got to be flexible when you get to those prices, and you don't trade those two without looking at spot BTC.
I want to talk about Hut 8, but we got something with Brendan.
Well, guys, CCL just reported earnings beating expectations, top and bottom line. The forecast for demand for cruises better than expected as well. So a little bit of volume and volatility here for Carnival.
Yeah, we talked about Carnival reporting like out of the blue, and like so that's going to be a tough one. We will look at that as it goes. But I just wanted to quickly remember when Hut 8 split. Okay, like I don't know what just happened to Hut 8 because it reverse split and then tanked like exactly, doesn't need a reason. Remember when you reverse split, this is generally what happens. But then what? Like all the way back up here right now? So like nothing's been happening in the I mean, look, Bitcoin's been going. We know that. I mean, Hut 8 deserved to get a move up and it did do that. But like in the last 5 days, like I was just looking at price of Bitcoin. It's been pretty stable up there. I don't think we deserve an 8 to a 13. So I'm going to be looking at this name for a little bit of curiosity here today, because although it killed the cat, I don't think it's going to kill this trade. Like here, 13.20. If we start to run there and I see like a stable Bitcoin or something, and some of these altcoins are not really doing too much. I know Solana's breaking out. It's up 22%, which is great this week. So that's been huge. But everything else seems to be relatively calm right now in the big cap altcoins. So I'm a little bit nervous here about HUD-8 and that recent move up right now. So that's a level that I'm looking at. Someone in the chat said, Sean, what's your number one trade idea? I mean, I'm putting out the sticky note for a reason. So I think that honestly, Google breaking above that 140 is looking good. But like I said, we already talked about that window dressing. I'm actually going to cancel this, Google. I did have a bid down here at 139. Maybe let's just trust what we wrote down here on 138 right now. This could get a little spicy here. Let's just check out those imbalances and see if there's something that sort of turned on us now. We don't even have any NASDAQ names on here. So like, I'm not sure what's going on with all this. We did sell some Snapchat the other day at 17. That's actually held up real well. There's Palantir on here as a buy as well. So we'll have to watch out for that. That gets into 17 yesterday. 17 is not low enough, but it's pretty close. Maybe that's the new level. I'm still trying to be a little bit patient. I still think the market makes a move down sometime in January. We've talked about that yesterday and for the last couple days, and that's a level for me on Palantir. But other than that, man, Pfizer's had a nice little run off that 26 up to 28 right now, and that's on here. And then the dead one, I think, Fisker down here, sub $2, now 150 trying to catch a bid. So with only 30 seconds left, let's go.
Oh, the other thing that was trying to catch a bid yesterday, Nikola failed the dollar again, because that's what it does. If it makes a third run at that dollar, you know what it is. Short it till it breaks it. If it breaks a dollar, look for some long opportunities up there. It is Thursday. We got a couple of trading days before Christmas, but let's get on over to Adara. Let's ring this bell. We definitely are going to be looking at some of the chip names. We talked about Micron, Intel with Sean, and AMD, that 140 in play. Tesla looking pretty strong. But in 4, 3, 2, and ring it.
All right, let's go. We are now open, so I'm going to get some of my stop orders in because that's what we do around here, and just in case we get some fills. So let's start to look at some of these trades as we go, man. All right, Google's set and ready to go. Fisker, I don't know why I'm on Fisker. We don't care about that. Let's look at Intel real quick. That was the trade that I thought could come into play here, and that's going to be a short up at 47. It's trying to go, but not quite there yet. We can quickly look at Google. I mean, I don't need to panic. We're not in anything.
Nothing happening.
We did pull the bid there. We were at 20s, but you could see now Google's really starting to go back up to the upside. So let's put a bid back down there as this market seems like it wants to go northbound here straight off the jump.
Yeah, there is. Oh, there goes Boeing just made the break. Oh, didn't get the fill. Boeing just took out that 66 high. Let's see if it can quickly pick me up. Pick me up. I'm just going to leave the bid in there in front of 66 to see if I can get picked up there. I am into Mullen. Just took a starter at 87 in front of 8. The reverse split there, obviously the price being $8 on the reverse split because it closed at like 8 cents. So 1 to 100 or 100 to 1. You know how that works out. On Mullen, I only want to be looking short. If I lose on it, I'm willing to lose multiple times, but I'm only looking for the other direction. If you like the long, good on you. Meta's flying again. Meta is so, wow, Meta. Meta just flew $4 off of the open. Okay, it's going to be one of those kind of days. Well, we'll see what happens with Boeing. I guess I'll be happy if this breaks at 67 even up here. We'll take some out at 67, but punch long and punch the wrong one long. Obviously, Meta was the way to go. We just took some out on Boeing. If it gets to 270 on Boeing, that's the early target.
Yeah, that is a nice. That's a nice move up there for Meta for sure. All right, we're long into Tesla right now, and we're long into Google. So we're long into these two names. Yeah, Meta was yesterday, man. We destroyed that Meta trade, and we'll see if we can do it again here today. But as Neil said, it is a long for now. All right, so we're long Tesla. We missed that 252 break. It happened too early, but we're going to try to get it back here. And if it does take out 250, then we're going to get out. This is just light. Not light trades. We have some shares on. We're trying to average it in a little bit. There we go. We just got some more down there because we are ahead of VWAP right now. So we are long Tesla with a decent sized position, but waiting for that, 250. I still think it can dip down. I mean, we know that Tesla's been pretty aggressive, and I'm not in too much of a, bullish camp, as we've said. So we got to watch out for this. That high has been 253. Maybe let's get something out if it does get back into there. We are trying to average into Google, I thought, but did I put the wrong price? Yes, I did. So I got to get more shares down here on Google. But maybe we'll just drop this one out as it's coming back in. But let's trade some more long Google here, as I had the wrong price. We should have been long already, but here it comes. It's going to drop out. We'll be patient for 138s if that doesn't come through. But right now, Tesla's trying to go. This is the name that I like here too.
Yeah, it just got tagged at 55 here on Mullen. So Mullen, again, reverse split. It's only done 100,000. It's not going to be tremendous volume because it's just so many reverse splits. It's ridiculous. If we get to 7 even, I think I want to hold through that level if we can. Micron, by the way, big reversal on Micron. It broke out the top and then came right back in. So it's wicked 85. That's not a great look when you fail a breakout like that. If you can get back above 85, it might have trapped some people that thought that was going to be that reversal candle. So I like 84 and 83. If I get a chance to trade off those levels, fair enough. But the 85 level coming into prominence. Haven't taken anything else outside of these two. But of note, remember CCL? Yeah, it's now up 6%.
Yeah, buddy.
So CCL from going down 70 cents and like 5% to now up 7% on those earnings. They likey, and they likey a lot. About to break out on the daily. It's at 1925 is the level on the daily. Insane.
All right, instant dollar club right here with Tesla. There it is, man. It was actually at 250. Now it's going. Here we go. If you have that 252 long, I mean, again, you guys asked about some trade ideas, and here it is right there. It's Tesla long through 253 to 252. We have 252.50s, so it's $1.30. It's in the money. We dance it off here for a little bit. Let's see if it can continue to go upside. I do not even have, well, I have an out right here at 253.80s. So let's see if we can get up there and break that level and then go through. There it is. There's an 86 right now. So that's it. That's $1.50, man. Like I said, we're here and trading pretty good here so far, but we only have 2 trades on. And then the other one is not moving around too much, but it's Google and it's going downside. So we do have a little bit of a worry spot here for me on Google. I don't want to hold it all the way back down here. If it doesn't work, it's not going to work. So I just down into the 40s. I'd rather get stopped out if we break through 50 or very, very soon here on Google coming through. So let's watch out for that trade, as that's not working, but Tesla is. So 1 for 2 here early, but we are going to drop out of this Google if it fails down through 139.50. So let's be careful with that and figure this out, as the market's kind of just hovering now. Now it looks like it wants to go down. We are out of only half of our Tesla trade, but we just got that sweet fill there at 254.
Yeah, I just got in and out of Micron off that 85. It reclaimed 85 very briefly, got about to the half, was able to get in and out at 11 to like 90, so take a 20-cent hit there. If this is going to be a reversal, we'll have to give up the ghost, but look for it above 85. That was the only price I want to buy as it's in strength, or buy it on a key level downside, and it looks like it's screaming into the downside. We're holding on to Mullen for 7. I want that 7 level to come in here. I don't know if we're going to be able to get it, but I am looking to reload that short. Again, only looking one direction here. If there is a pop that sets me up for, it's a 3-minute chart, so there's not going to be much here. But if it sets me up for another rollover, I want to look to be able to add to that. And I briefly mentioned Nikola. Nikola's starting to come up. I do want to fade Nikola into $1 today. If it never gets past 90 cents, I'll fade the 90-cent level instead.
All right, so yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say CCL broke that 1925 and immediately rejected. If it can consolidate up here and take it again, I'm going to look for the long on CCL. That's the big level on the daily, breaking this quarter.
Yeah, people are talking about that in the chat, so that's a good one right there. We're going to hit a fail on our Google trade because it failed. That's exactly what happened. It tried to break, and it did. So it did break 50 there. It did come back into the 60s. I'm holding a small piece, but again, like if this continues to go downside, like I said, we're not super bullish today. And we just took out another piece. We took out 75% there. We took out another piece of Tesla, so now we're even lighter on that one. 20% left of Tesla as that's falling down, in a new position as a Palantir short. What's up, Adara?
This is an interesting one here. This is a Bitcoin name, Bitcoin miner, Iris Energy, IREN is the ticker, up over 20% after announcing that their expansion, their 10 exahashes per second expansion has been fully funded after an equity raising program. So keep an eye on this name, guys.
IRAN. That is I try to say Iran as if it's not Iran, but running to the upside. I want to get tomorrow if I can. Still got the eyes on CCL. CCL has not broken the high. So it looks like that is calming down, maybe consolidating a bit. Mara tried to take out the top and failed it a bit here. So next trade is feeling like it might be the reload. Reload on Mullen, or maybe that pop and fade on Nikola. But this market's really starting to dive back in here pretty aggressively. I don't want to fade Mara. Am I actually going to get a chance at this Mullen? And Mullen doesn't care what the market's doing, but if the market's pulling back, it certainly doesn't hurt here. It's making its first bounce play since the open, so this would be the move to be able to fade.
I know you had the last couple of days off, but yeah, Mullen leads the market now. So, if that's starting to go down, it's Mullen.
Oh, for the love of
God. Man, what are we doing? Okay, right now we have a nice winner though. We're making a little bit of money back here because look at Palantir. There she goes, man. Nice little move to the downside as we're short 69er and we just took it out at 57. We'll take another piece out at 59. And by the way, man, okay, let's see what's going on with Google now. I'm not going to say Google. That's my guys over there. But here we go. It's a nice little move up for Google. We'll see about this. We just bought some more down there at 139, taking some out now in the 50s. So let's go Google back up to the upside. This is the one that we're excited about right now. Let's punch out a little bit more. Oh, we just missed a punch there at 61 on Palantir, but we have a couple outs. We're still unfortunately in 70% of this one. So if it comes back down, that'd be all good. But we are almost back to positive now on Google, despite slipping up there. We'll take some 67s right there and go bang, bang, as that's a nice little out there on the top side of Google, making that money back for you right now. And then we're trying to hold on. There it goes. Wow, Google again. And then here we go to Tesla. Again, we talked about only having 20% left. Still, 20% kind of sucks when it goes all the way back down. But so far, so good on that one. And wow, I got to watch out for my Google trades because we're getting out of too many here as it continues to rip up. Good trade here on Google, 50 cents in the money. Just patient, patient, patient. We talked about that, man, and we don't want to be patient zero here today. We're trying to buy these dips and take a little bit of a run back up. So here's Google, 70 cents in the money.
Yeah, speaking of things that have dipped, NEO, not $8, but pre-market low. So it did that fade where it broke the pre-market low and came back up. Remember, this is SSR because it was down just a titch over that 10% yesterday. So it's a continuation day for NIO. I do have it off the higher low at 815. So first look will be if it goes 10 cents in the money toward the pre-market high here or breakout high. And if it can take that out, I look into yesterday's levels up here at about 840. I did not get you Mullen. It's not going to be the most liquid stock in the world. I was trying to grab some 750s, didn't get the fill. I still want to only be net short in that particular name. And now Meta. Now Meta might be setting up a bit of an entry point. Once it breaks out, what are you going to do? Like it's gone, looking for this to consolidate higher and set up some kind of consolidation long on Meta. This is up 1.8% into a market that is half of that. So clearly Meta showing all kinds of strength in this market. Micron on the reversal got all the way down to 83.5, but not 83. Close, but no cigar for me. So the new position was just jumping into the dip buy on NEO. This is an SSR bounce style play.
All right, guys. Yeah, about those cigars. I mean, right now we're smoking right now as we continue to watch out for Google. Nice upside move. And look at Palantir. Falling down again. We did not get that 55 bid. I'm at 54 right now. So that's something that I'm going to be looking at here for Palantir on the short. Let's see if it can keep on going. You've already hit that high. But again, I'm just sort of the same thing. I'm looking at this market and I'm not super impressed. It's kind of not doing anything right now. So with that being said, we got to figure out where we're going. So for right now, not much happening for some of these positions. Google's kind of bouncing around a little bit. We're trying, like I said, to be patient. Let's check in on Intel, why don't we? Let's see what that's doing right now. 46.20, so that's a downside move. What else do we have on our list? Tesla, Intel, Google. Oh man, we might have missed this one. We were going to look at Affirm again, as that name's been a fun one to trade. Yeah, it's running. Oh wow, 48.30. Okay, so this is I wasn't sure if you were kidding there, but it is running to the upside. So yeah, let's take advantage of this one and see if we can't capitalize on some Affirm. If it gets a little bit closer, I am not sitting there, but let's sit at like 49.50 and see if we can get the short on AFRM.
Yeah, that is really starting to go, that one. Very, very strong, obviously, but it's a bit of a squeeze play, so you got to be careful with it. CCL obviously did not break out. Just keep in mind that I'm going to ask Brendan exactly what's going on with their call there because I don't want to be completely blind here. But it did reject that 1930 and comes all the way back in to potential support at previous resistance. But as I said, that call is going to be ongoing pretty soon here. There's Meta. Meta's now coming right back into previous support levels. If it can hold for 34 here, right there, 34. I'd look for a bit of a bounce play one more time off Meta. It's dipped into this level twice, but the market is looking rather heavy. If it breaks 34, you could fill that gap in a couple dollars pretty easy.
I was going to go over to a bank name here with JP Morgan because I'm just going to let Tesla relax for a second here. I mean, I just don't know. It's hovering around 252. But JP Morgan off that 168, I mean, that's a pretty nice level to be considered right here. What is the, I mean, I know the NASDAQ's up, so is the ES right now. So the 68, if we sort of zoom back out a little bit here, you know, it just, I sort of had this marked down. I don't know why I didn't put this on the sticky note, but this is not a bad area right there from that bottom. Made that move to 170 and then cracked through. So I'm feeling like putting a little bit of a starter position on now. There we go. We just punched that through at 59. Might not work. And then we'll wait up here near 85 or so, and then just use 168 in change as our out if we have to. So we're going to start a new position right now. Hit the sire and just going to be, wow, it's working. On JP Morgan. Nice little start to this move. We're short at 60. Let's put some bids there. I mean, where is VWAP here? I mean, now it's coming back upside a little bit. VWAP's only right there at 40. Okay, let's just put one down there in the like low 40s and see if that one will work. And then after that, we'll see about I'm just going to put a 167 now to see if we can get that fill as well. But I'm going to be short on JP Morgan, and it's a new trade idea right now. We're going to go 0 for 1 on our first idea for Google, and then win on the next. So that's good. Palantir's been a winner, and then Tesla is my net #1 stock so far today. So yeah, pretty good day to start. It's going to be a green one here, as every position we have is in the money, and that's pretty good. Here comes Tesla. Yes, or there goes JP Morgan. There's 20 cents. We just put that trade on, so we'll spin the money for a quick little 20 cents. We're out of 20% of that JP Morgan trade. Let's see if it continues to work. But the market, Neil, starting to bounce off VWAP.
Yeah, it's starting to bounce. I got the dip buy in Meta. I'm going to get to Nikola in a quick second, but I also got the reload off the next up move in Mullen. Again, because of the reverse split, you're going to get this crazy scaling, but just got to fill above 750. I'm going to take some out at the quarters and then see if it can continue to fall further. But Nikola, as soon as I'm like, yeah, we need to get this one short too, it just dropped like a rock. So 87, I'm looking at the 87 level here on Nikola. I think this can be a fade at least until the 80 level. The question is actually getting an uptick to be able to get into this one. Neo is trying to hold on for dear life, but it might take out that 810. So I'm in here at the teens, 16, only want to give it that 7 cents. When it gets 1-to-1, that's where I was starting to take it out. But if it can't hold on to pre-market lows, just got to dump out of NIO. And it's the same thing with Meta. I might like it to the long side, but I'm not willing to hold it all the way back into the previous breakout price. If it's going to hold 53 or 52, look for that level. So risk about 30, 40 cents to try to make a couple bucks, and then look for the next opportunity to do exactly the same thing. So we're still in Mullen. As a matter of fact, we just added back into it, and this short in Nikola is going to bug me if I don't get some kind of a move to get into VWAP here.
You know, it's not bugging me right now is JP Morgan. Nice little move to the downside here. As you guys know that we shorted that. It did just go 40 cents in the money. It's back in a little bit right now as we watch out for this trade. Of course, JP Morgan. Let's just give it a little bit of room here to work and see if we can get that to do that. Now it's right back up. So we missed that little dip into 30s. I'm bidding... Actually, I'm bidding 05s. I thought I had a bid in the 20s there. Okay, I have to put a bid in the 20s. That's not very responsible of me. Not very responsible of me to not have a bid down there. So let's do that. Tesla right now, trying to get back into there. I mean, you can come a little bit late. We've already done it once, but here comes a dollar club, hopefully for Tesla one more time. And I'm going to take it out if we get up to 253.50, just to take out one more piece. We're not going to take out everything on this one because I do like Tesla right now. And again, if you're watching out for this stick, you know, we had 252 written down there as the long. We don't have the best price. We could have just bought 252s again right there. But here it comes. Nice move, all right, Tesla. I'm just going to go back over to that one and get a piece out. Make sure we do have something at 253.50 because, again, it's been a really good day here. So let's just keep on trading and see what's going on. Palantir, bouncing off 60. Okay, I guess we got to address that situation. All right, let's take a 62 out right there. And then now let's just wait to see where we go now for Palantir as we just filled 62s. It's printing the inverted gateways. So you just put a bid out there and it will fill you most likely. And there it is right there. There's a nice move. And there's the dollar club right there for Tesla again as we held on to it. Play the strength in this name. It's TSLA and it's trying to moon a little bit right now for us. So that's going to be good. And then here we go, man. We were happy with JP JP Morgan, and now we are sad because the market is not going up, but the bank names are right now. So JP Morgan, we have reloaded this position. We're short now at 75. We're happy with that. Our out is 168. So this is a 20 to 25 cent risk. Let's see if we can work it out with Adara at the desk.
This one here, Global Star, GSAT, this one trades on the Amex. Yesterday it was reported that their director had purchased 750,000 shares in a Form 4 filing. This one's actually trading at 52-week highs right now, guys.
All right. JP
So
Morgan
reload
coming
and quick
JP
scalp
Morgan.
here on Mullen. This one, we'll see what happens, but my gut is treat it as if it's going into the gates of hell until it doesn't.
Yeah.
That's just how reverse splits play. So reloaded on the next move down, which was the 750, scalped it to the bottom, which is the previous support level. First it was 8 to 750, then it was 750 to 725. I want to be still short this if it breaks 7 even. I'm not expecting any halts or anything like that, but I am looking for a trend. I'm going to move my stop to the next level down. Not going to hold this into 8 because it's a new re-entry point. So just an adjustment on Mullen, moving the stop down as we just added back into it. I did get the short in Nikola, so we're now into this off of not V. I mean, VWAP's up there, but it's really more off the 87 half. So I'm short here, essentially like 86.6, and then we'll see if we can't get this one down into the low of the day. NEO somehow is managing to hold on for dear life, so that's a bit of a good sign there for NIO. And then one that we have not gone to. We have not talked about NVIDIA this morning, and NVIDIA just held pre-market lows at 486, but it is in a downward slope. And if this cannot hold on, yeah, this is stair-stepping to the downside on NVIDIA. It's a bit of a gap down. Oh, I'm missing half the. Anyways, 488 previous support, as you can see there on NVIDIA. It just broke that level of the downside, missing some data from yesterday, but it went down yesterday, like everything did at 2 o'clock, so you know what it looked like.
You're not wrong about that one. Okay, yeah, just making sure that we're still good here, which we seem like we are. All right, so JP Morgan, it just bounced off 50. That's not making me super happy at all. So that's not super happy. Let's see if that can continue to work. We have been really happy with our Google trade, as you guys can see. And we're going to talk about more names. I'm just trying to go over some of the ones that we're in right now, and I'm going to be looking for some more opportunities. I'm looking at PayPal, and I'm looking at Uber right now. Yeah, so one piece out at 65, one piece out at 50, and now we're pretty light as it's starting to head back down. We will average into it, I believe. I mean, I will do it again at 139. So let's just put another bid down there if we're lucky enough for this to fall in. Where am I long right now? 139.20s. All right, so let's try that again. Let's put another bid down there, and we'll put one even lower, which I believe I already have. Yes, I do. I have one in the teens as well. So, all right, let's just see if that works out. I got to sort my order log here as it's not alphabetical, and that screws me up. Okay, so here comes JP Morgan. Let's go, man. This didn't take too long, but I told you we're riding the bears today, and there it is, JP Morgan backing out of that high. So let's see if it can continue to go down. It's now 40 cents in the money. JP Morgan short, we called that one. Their Palantir trying to work. That's only a dime right now and not really doing a whole heck of a lot. Let me check out a name yesterday was Roblox. We really like that 45. Okay, so still dipping down. Hey, Fabian, how's it going? What do you got over there, a muffin? 2 muffins? What flavor? Blueberry?
I like it.
Attaboy.
It's okay.
Yeah, so, I learned yesterday, don't ever say anything bad about Ramin or don't do anything negative towards Ramin because, she's...
It's all in good fun.
It is. It's always in great fun. That's the best part about what we're doing around here. Happy holidays to everybody if you are watching us now and unable to, maybe you're taking the rest of the week off. I think that there's you've had the last 2 days. I'm off tomorrow. We're all off Monday, and then we have 4 more days next week. And then that's a wrap, baby. And then we're back here for 2024.
Yes, sir.
We're always on. As long as the market's open, we're going to be on. And unfortunately, everybody deserves a nice little Christmas vacation, I feel like. So hopefully everyone's doing that. And yeah, should be a fun one here in the next couple days.
So I just want to note this MSAI that I see a lot of people talking about. I can pull it up on Trade Ideas. I can pull it up on Yahoo Finance. It obviously, it looks like it just came out today, but it's not in our database. So anyone asking about this stock, it's not in our database, so I can't trade it today. Day Trade the World, it's not here. Unfortunately. So again, it's I'm not ducking the stock. I see that it is moving when I pull it up on Trade Ideas. Just can't look at it, unfortunately, guys. So going back to something we can, If we get a flat bottom, if I get a flat bottom break in Mullen and the next level down, I'm going to probably short that as well. It's just about a matter of reloading it over and over again. I was just in and out of NVIDIA on that last consolidation down. It broke out the 88. We talked about 88 being the key level. If it held under, looked short, it broke 88 upside. So I get out. So NVIDIA all of a sudden goes from stair step down to breaking it out big time. And if the chips are going to go, ARM 70, never mind. Okay, so ARM 70, that was a level. Forget it, it already bounced off it, now taking out the highs. ARM has just been a strong stock. If it breaks out at 71, it has a $2 gap fill. So this is something that can follow some of these other chip names, but it has to take out that top at 71. 70 was a key level, but that was probably something you could have looked at a couple of minutes ago. If it's breaking out 71 even, I'd look for the long in ARM. So we're into the two. It's funny that the thing that I liked most short, which was shorting the junk EVs, is the one thing that I'm probably sticking with all day long here with Mullen and Nikola. Yeah. I'm sure Lucid's probably a good short too. But watch out for this ARM 71 break. Oh, and CCL. Shout out to you, Brian Swisher. Any relation to Nick, the decent baseball player? CCL looking to break the 1930 high. The earnings called at 10 o'clock. So just be careful. In 7 minutes, the earnings call starts. That can be tricky to trade if you're not paying attention to what they're saying. But price action does rule the day.
Yep, for sure. Okay, Tesla's fallen back in a little bit here like a fallen angel, so let's figure this out. JP Morgan, nice move down. We've already taken some profit on that one. Palantir just kind of wants to chill out. We have a plan of action on that. We will talk about it. But I was going to... like the market's going up here and Tesla's kind of coming down. So potentially, I'm just looking at my stop order now. I'm going to cancel that 250 stop, take some shares here and use 251 as my stop. So, if we break through 250, I feel like, getting out in and around here would probably be the right move. So we'll take a position now on Tesla and see if it works and try to give ourselves about this 60 cents worth of room. Here it comes. It's going to look like it's going to break. That's pretty nice. There it is. Looks like it's a pretty nice move down. Wait a minute. It just broke and I did not get out. So I'm going to have to figure out what's going on with my stop. Oh, no, my stop order is a little bit lower. So, all right, Tesla just rejected that, but it's not refusing it. It's going to the downside right now again. So let's watch out. We did take a shot on this one. We're going to get out very, very soon on this 251 clean break. Looks like it's trying to hold it, but there it goes. There it goes. All right, we were just waiting for 89s. So it just, did it break there? I don't know. It looks like it might have, but it's still holding a little bit there on BOSX. So there it goes. Nice breakdown. We will have to slap the fail on that one because we did do that. We tried the long there on Tesla, in and out, right? But the long was okay, but not anymore. It's a good thing we did kind of cancel that as we're coming back into 250 now pretty quickly, needless to say. So here comes the move down. JP Morgan back in, man, now 40 cents in the money. Let's just take another piece out on JPM just because we are bidding in the 30s as well on this name. So far so good here for the short. There's a nice out on JP Morgan. And then Palantir, we did not get the reload, but we were waiting at 74. I'm going to put one at 70 now and get that. So yeah, man, so far so good. We did screw up that Tesla trade there, I feel like, but we'll wait. We said we would wait for 250. So let's try a 250 bid as we're down to VWAP in the market.
Yeah, the market is now looking weak. The only thing we're holding on to, the market, I should say, is if you look at the resistance level that got broken out when we had the economic number, that was 16.89. We're holding above that. So we're dipping into previous resistance and holding previous resistance, which is still, I suppose, the last bullish thing that we can do. But if it breaks, forget about it. I just got the low of the day print on, or in front of the low of the day on Nikola. So I'm going to fade the next pop into 87 that we can get. Got 86 half-ish, and then looking 85, 84 half, and then we'll hold on. Mullins, still the same story. Like, it's catching a bit of a bid in front of 7 even, but at some point I expect that to fall. If it doesn't, then I'm out if this breaks back above 765, and if it gets to 8, sort of work another trade there. There is a small piece of economic data at 10 o'clock. Chef Joe just asking, what is the new? If you have leading index change month over month, that is not a very big economic number. Then, of course, as always, we're going to have happening now. Look out for Apple. Talked about an Apple fade. Well, sometimes you can wait for the right price level, and you're not going to get it. That's 198. It got to 197, already pulling back. It's at 96 here. If it's taking the stairs down, I just want to look to be a joiner if this is going to be a short. So whether it breaks 96 first or comes back up and puts in a lower high at VWAP, I'll look to fade the next move, probably a post 10 o'clock move. So I'm going to hang on to these two. They're the ones that have been working clean the entire way. Boeing was a quick breakout that immediately rejected the 66 level. So broke the 66. I got 67 out and then didn't get anything above there, and then it couldn't hold on to 66. So that breakout does not work ahead. If I was looking for a short in Boeing, then great, but I was not. So when that 66 came back in, you just get out of the trade and move on to the next. So I'm hanging on to some shorts. I don't think I put anything on new until we get that 10 o'clock move. Unless, of course, I get a reload in Mullen. Mullen, I don't care about economic data and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah, no, Mullen. Poor Mullen. Okay, so right now...
I don't feel bad for them.
No, I don't feel bad for them. I mean, there's still a lot...
bad for shareholders. I don't
mean,
feel bad for...
I mean, I don't know. I don't really like... I've been in a lot of shares that are down 98%. I mean, welcome to the cannabis space. And I don't feel bad for myself.
It's down more than 98%, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, you can't get that much more down than 98%. I mean, you could get to zero, but
99.9.
Yeah, like that's probably is what Mullen is down. But right now, we ain't down because look at Palantir. This is a stock that's down. We are short right now. Let's get another piece out right here. I was just bidding 52s. We'll just punch 55s out right there. But Palantir is really keeping your boy afloat here. Wait a minute. I thought I had some more bids on Tesla down here. Must have canceled them. All right, there goes Tesla. It's down to 250. Let's just... I was going to take this long. I tried a little bit there at 250.50. I was going to put more on down here at 250, but it looks like it's breaking a little bit too good here down. So let's wait. The market's now below VWAP. Remember I said I was not convinced on being a bull here today. We did take Mara. Mara was good, man. We took Mara down there at 23. My best out is 20s. We just averaged it in. I'm going to use this bottom here of 75. We saw that yesterday for Mara in and around this level that we thought we could hold it. We're not going to let this happen, but we are going to go long Mara right now. What is happening, man? My net is just climbing here a little bit. It's Palantir that just filled the 52. So yeah, man, here we go again. Like I said, you know, trading be damned. We're here, and it's another day. It's another Greensville day up in Whoville because this has been a good one. Tesla downside, we're out of that. Mara just broke lower, so we will actually be red on that name. But we did have some good outs. And Google's still hovering, man. I like Google at these levels. I don't know, man. It's holding out when some of these other names I have are not. So I'm gonna take advantage of this being at VWAP, get a piece out there at 70, yes sir, right there on Google, and yeah, good little long here off of that bottom. So Palantir short, JP Morgan's now $0.50, and we're gonna wait to see about a 167 right now on that one. But it's a green day, and yeah, it's not a Grinchmas yet. The market is still up.
Yeah, the market's still up. It has been kind of trending down since the economic number, but we're holding on to those levels at least. I talked about the NASDAQ, but not the ES. The ES is it gets sleepy in terms of the range, but as said, the only gain was off the 830 number and holding higher lows. So there is some strength coming to the market. Meta's now trying to hold that 52. Okay, so we took one shot on Meta at the 54 level. Now it's come back into the 352. That was afternoon support. That obviously got broken at 2 o'clock when everything else fell. So if Meta can hold on to this, just want to see some strength off that 52 level, which it just wicked. Pre-market bottoms, and now another dip here in Meta. So if we're going to hold on to these, I don't want to call them recent lows. They are recent lows, but then overnight resistance on the futures. I think Meta can be one to go. It's up 0.1. The market's just barely worse than that. And on the bid is 7 of Mullen. If Mullen breaks 7 even, I'll look for like a 6 fill and then the next entry for the short trade. But 10 o'clock is here. Let's get onto the desk with happening now.
We did just get that CB leading index month over month, so it's slightly lower than the previous, but in line with the forecast and slightly lower than the consensus. We came in at negative 0.5 compared to the previous negative 0.8 in consensus, negative 0.4 forecast, negative 0.5. Market itself not reacting too much to this. We're still up about 0.75, 0.7 on the day for the SPY. In terms of individual stocks, moving around, BlackBerry down 12.5% after earnings, although it did have higher expected EPS loss lower than expected EPS loss and a sales beat. We also did have CRM on watch, still up about 2% after Morgan Stanley upgraded and raised the price target. Brought to you by Surge Trader, where traders can get a funded trading account up to $1 million and keep up to 90% of the profits. The program has simple rules, no time limits. Just go to surgetrader.com/TTV and use the promo code TTV for 10% off.
All right. Yeah, get that promo code, get going on everything right now. We did buy some more Tesla off 250 because I was like, you know what, if this happens again and I look back at my sticky note and I read that it says long Tesla 250 and I don't do it, then, you know, it still may not work. I'm going to give it to that bottom of 249.50. We just took something out there at 50. So we just made like 40 cents. It's not like it's a huge trade by any stretch of the imagination. My next offer is right here at, like, if it can get up, if I just took it all out, we would have been flat on Tesla so far today. But we are going to be red on it on our last two trades, created those downside spikes there. Still, we're still hovering around flat, but if we lose on this one, then obviously we will be red. So we're gonna watch out for this 249.50. And we're gonna be wrong on Tesla. It's just the market, we're gonna be right on the market. We've called the downside move. If you've just been short, you've really not gotten out. I mean, because we have lower high, lower high, lower high, like it's still going, we're still making them. And right now you're at the bottom and looking to break lower. So I feel like, you know, the Grinch rhetoric was right early, and it's just right now we're trying to hang out. Remember I said we'll crack through VWAP. I said this on the open. We'd crack through VWAP and we were all the way up here. Nice move through VWAP, and now we're gonna have to see what it does at 16.9. So that's the key. We're still underneath it. Let's see if this market can rally a little bit. JP Morgan is just like, dude, nailed this one like that. We just shorted 168 up there while we're short at 167.85. Now it's down to 167 flat. So this is going to be a good one. We're bidding near 167 to make that little profit on the back end of this. But so far so good. Palantir 15 cents, and then Tesla. Thank you, Randy. Looks like Tesla will come out very, very soon. I saw those cookies on the other side. They're pretty tasty. They're like, I think they're almond, and you just kind of dip them in your coffee. And then, you know, this is what the paisans do.
Well, I'm in Tesla for the first time off of that. It's all about the resistance from the afternoon yesterday. So once it made that bottom and bounced, I jumped in, waiting for that level to come in here. But it is still the shorts. It's like, I was looking at like 10 o'clock, like what are the things that you keep getting out of? And what are the things that you keep holding because they never go against you? And it's the shorts that have not failed, and it is the longs, which is like the quick in and out when it hits your level and gone. So I am in the long here. I'll get my little dip on with that little cookie in a quick second, but I did want to get to CCL. Whatever they started the call with, they didn't like it on CCL because the call started like 3 minutes ago, 4 minutes ago, rips through VWAP to the downside and is now just trying to hang on for its dear life. So unfortunately, CCL, which looked like a breakout trade, that's out the window now as the call starts, and I don't know what they're saying. I'm not paying attention or listening to it, just looking at the price action. They don't like it. If it gets back in and wants to hold like pre-market highs or some key level, I might look for a dip and rip. And there goes Tesla. Tesla could not hold on to that half, unfortunately. So Tesla, take one shot at it to the long side, and then it comes right back in, breaking that low. So one in, one out, slap the fail on Tesla at that key support level. If in the same moment, yeah, you should have known this was going to happen. Wasn't unable to get all in Nikola. Should have just been more aggressive with this. We're going to break the low of the day here on Nikola. Actually, just did. The next stop, the 81 cent level if you go back here. So it could move another 2 or 3% before finding the next support level. But the shorts are certainly coming into play. Now that the Tesla trade is out, let's see how this tastes. I don't know.
Tastes great. Okay, so right now the things that are tasting great is Palantir. That's going to be a nice little winner. Now, look, we're going to be green today, right? The only trade that we really have messed up so far has been Tesla, and we're not down that much on it. That's for sure. So we're going to wait to see what we can do on that one. JP Morgan has been, and this is what we say, man. Like, I've traded Mara, we've traded JP Morgan, I've traded Google, Palantir, Tesla. It's like I'm just going where the money goes and where the opportunities are. So right there, JP Morgan, I feel like was a great opportunity, and we definitely hit that one. As here we go, nice little pullback down in. So we let Google go up. We got out of some Google as well, so that's been okay for us. But we did not get out at 140. I was hoping for a break longer through that. All right, we're already out of 2/3 of Palantir. We just got a 49 fill. I feel like we could put another 49 there and try to grab that fill, and we just got it as well. So that was a good one. Other than that, man, what do you guys want to look at? Apple? Is Apple moving around? People want to look at
flushing.
Apple flushing. Okay, so that was, again, remember we said that we're in a bearish mood today, as everybody knows. So this is not catching me by surprise, any stretch of the imagination. So, oops. Apple.ny, that's not gonna be the right name. There it is. Wow, off that 197. Darn, Sean. Okay, that's something there. That reminds me when I just said that, I put up a dad joke here. I don't know if you guys saw this morning. This was pretty funny. I thought this was pretty good anyways. So here it is right now. It's nice shoes. Thanks, they're Vans. So that was, exactly. That's exactly the reaction we want right here.
No.
As dad jokes. There we go. So,
Don't put any hate on that. That's optimal use of Optimus Prime
yes,
right there.
Exactly. Thank you. So, definitely
Ain't nobody
follow.
hating on that.
No, follow. I feel like we could do some dad jokes there as we go. But Tesla really coming in, man. We didn't write down anything lower than where we are right now for this market. But hey, I was. Damn it, we should just be short the market. Like, again, we go back. I was even not turning this guy into a bull when we were up 1.3%. The market is really coming in here. And to say that I expected this, yeah, but the bank is coming back up. Google's coming back in as well. How low can we go? Lower is the answer.
16.
But 139 coming back in. I feel like we need to test this long at least because Google's been a strong name. And I think there's a chance we could hold it. So let's wait for a little bit more of a dip in, man. Palantir is really cooking in JP Morgan's that dollar club again. So Shopify's disaster, I know. We shorted that yesterday, Daryl, and that was a good one for us all day yesterday. Probably trying to get back into those levels again, right? So yeah, so nicely moved down in Shopify, coming back to $75 here.
Oh, goodness.
I want to get a shot.
That happened pretty fast. 75, that's a big level on Shop. I got to get to that. But yeah. So Mullen broke 7. There's not a huge amount of selling underneath just yet, so there's a chance it could be trying to bounce here. There hasn't been an obvious reload spot. Like 750 made sense. If it sets up underneath 750 or like $7, I guess I'd look for a reload down there. Nikola, the other one that we're holding, that just broke 84. I was right there at like 83.3. Didn't get the fill, but that's also trending to the downside. So just holding on to the shorts that are working at this moment. But that Shopify level, do not sleep on 75 Shopify. Shopify, I had the line drawn in there. Support level, that's what bottom on yesterday. I believe, no, it wasn't. It was Monday's bottom. 75 on Monday and then Thursday as well. So you have resistance turning into support at 75, even if it gets there, and that's the only bounce spot I would look for on Shop. It's previous support. You still have 80 cents to go, so you got to be very, very patient. If the market's weak and you've got a big support level, then you should be waiting for it to get there. The market is trending in its direction. Getting in early is, generally speaking, going to be a bit of a trouble if you happen to do it. You already talked about Mara, but the other name, Coinbase, only now getting back into the lows here underneath 165. So it's not terribly weak compared to this market yet.
All right.
And I'm looking on over at Bitcoin. It's still beneath 44,000. If I see another move back into 44, this is not exactly dumping all over itself just yet, so it still has a chance to be a bit of a long. Don't really have a short setup for this thing unless it was the 170 level or breaking 160. So for now, still a chance that it could go. Will I go long Nikola at 82 cents AK? No. I don't really have any long ideas for Nikola and Mullen today, so I'm just looking to be short these. I know it's a support level. I have bids out in front of it, but I'm not going long in this stock.
All right. Like, what's up with Disney? Disney just made a nice move up, and I shorted it, and then we lost on the short for a while there. We're in it a little bit now. I need this to pull back if we're going to make back what we lost. So let's see if we can get something back into the 70s here. Disney just went for a jog there, Dara.
Paramount's moving.
Yeah, there was Paramount and Warner Brothers. I mean, I know yesterday there was that news there, but I'm just a little bit surprised at such a move up here for Disney. But we'll get a piece out here if we can on this name and then just see where we go from here. But we just got another short right there. Okay, we've gotten some outs, and here it comes back in a little bit now. So we do have position on here on Disney. Let's just see. I was shorting it against the 200 period there until it broke. And then I was just like, all right, let's just see what this news is. This is not a name that I like. I mean, I don't you know, Disney's been a good trade this, I guess, since the bottom. But I mean, what hasn't been? Yeah. There's just too many options. I mean, Netflix just came out and dropped the bomb on everybody with those ratings. Like some of those watch hours, like Disney and Hulu, they're now together. So that could be, you know, could be interesting there for anybody that's looking at that. But we're going to hold on right now. Let's see if we can get a bid. I'm bidding 58s now on Disney for that trade. Palantir bounced back a little bit. We do have some decent outs there for that. And then JP Morgan still bouncing here at 167. So we're going to let's get another piece out here on JP Morgan as it's made that move down in. And hey, we are now sub, right? So this is a good trade for us. Let's see if it comes back in. You don't have to get $1 or anything like that. You trade price action. We've already wicked down to JP Morgan there at 85s. So maybe that could have been some relief, but still not huge volume yet on anything. The move has been down, and we've definitely taken advantage of that one. And here's Disney breaking through 60 now again. So we're back in the money, 20 cents, all is well on the Disney front again.
So CCL just tried to get to VWAP.
Oh yeah, CCL.
I mean, the call is obviously on right now, but the price action saying we'll support at 75, and now it's kind of rejecting VWAP in 75 here in a bit of a stair step down. So I'm going to look for like a scalp trade off of 80 here, and if it gets back into this bottom, that's about 55. So you got about 25 cents worth of range. Trying to risk 5 or 6 to get to the bottom of it. And remember, when the call is on, tight stops on everything and hard stops. Like I will never trade a stock that has an earnings call without a hard stop on a level. If it breaks, I'm just getting out. Oh man, I just accidentally put a penny on the entire thing. So I just made the spread accidentally on CCL instead of putting a stop in. But I'll just jump right back into position and then go to 1880 is going to be the out, and VWAP as the market is screaming back into the upside.
Yeah, natural gas storage coming at 10:30, so we still have a little bit to go. We tweeted at our JP Morgan trade earlier, but it's going, my computer just froze, but it's going pretty good now to the downside. So there goes JP Morgan, a nice move back in on that one. Disney kind of rejected that 60 level. Did I get a bid there?
That's better.
No, yeah, well, I got one bid only. That was at 64. We did not get a 60 fill, so now I'm getting a little nervous as the market trying to bounce back up a little bit. Yeah, firm's at 49, right? Okay, look at Tesla, damn you. All right, I feel like we're going to be wrong on Tesla. It is going to be a long, I mean, this market, again, you know, it doesn't take, it's not rocket science here how to trade this thing. But there's a firm, yeah, wow. Okay, who?
I don't believe you.
Neither do I. So, I mean, we hit a firm yesterday. I said a firm has a 3 handle on this thing.
The problem is, yeah, the problem with a firm is like the top yesterday is 52.
Yeah, wow.
And then resistance is like 50. Yeah. So it's got, like I do think a curl comes, especially if the market legs it down, but like the big levels aren't until it gets above 49. That's a tricky trade because you want to fade it, but it's not even close to the big levels. Maybe I'll wait for 49, then 49.5, then 50, and like all that good stuff. But I do think if the market continues down, no way that's going to hold up. I jumped back into CCL. Like as I said, I accidentally took the spread there, but didn't mean to. So just got back in there at 75, stop above 80, and I'm going to have bids down to that low of the day, starting at 1-to-1. Not low of the day, low of the local low here at 1855 on CCL. So hard stop is in. Mullen bounced off 7. I will look for a reload at some point there. Tube 37. Shout out to you. Good look. Upstart. I mean, Upstart up 5%. I mean, Affirm's up. They're not the same thing, but it just kind of feels like they tend to go together. Those couple of squeeze names.
Yeah. All right. We just took 20 cents on the Affirm short, but we are going to wait for obviously a bigger position if we can get up to 49. And I think that that's going to be something. Again, you know, we really hit this yesterday, man. I mean, this Affirm trade yesterday really fell out of favor. I'm going to show it to you, what we did yesterday, so you guys can see exactly what kind of move can happen here if you see this. Yesterday, this was the Affirm trade that we had. There's the short at 50, right? First cover at 49, next cover at like 48.50. It just kept on going down. Remember, we're short 50 here. Then we got another short on a bounce back over the 50 period, and we discussed this with everybody. That was just short at like 47.50, and then there's the cover at the end of the day at 45.75. So that was like, yes, sir, that was a big one, and we had that on the sticky note there today, and we have it on there today again, or yesterday, and we have it again here today. So let's just continue with this short. We are very, very aware that there's a potential that this thing goes up into 69er. All right, let's just double check it. Everything we're in right now.
AMD?
No, everything we're in right now is a winner, but I do need to go back over to AMD. Here comes a firm starting to bounce back up. Yeah, what's going on with AMD? Probably ripping now, or Tesla's trying?
It's almost as if there's maybe there's a buyer at 137.50. Shout out to you, Franz. Is it Franz or Franz? I'm just going to say Franz because...
Yeah, go with Franz. Sounds better.
Franz is way cool. I was working on a Frozen puzzle with my daughter yesterday, so Franz. 137.50. As the market's dying, they're buying AMD at 137.5. So if that is support down there, I think you just look for longs off it. Try not to complicate things. I still think 140 is a short level, but until you get there, you got to break out of the high in play. I prefer dip buys. So if we don't get 137.5, shoot for VWAP 138 and just take the stairs to the upside. As long as that level holds up from the morning, I think you look for longs off of it on AMD. So I'm going to be buying the next available dip. I did get the first fill on CCL, and I got some at 67 as well. So I got a bid at 60, and then we're going to have one probably at 55, and then we'll just look for places to reload. As long as it holds under VWAP, I want to be short scalping underneath VWAP. Coin made a nice bounce. I don't know about
Coin. I'm
Coin.
trying to find stuff here.
I mean, Coin, like we're not breaking 44. Like my whole wanting to go long was if 44,000 was going to break on Coin or Mara. That's not happening, and you're still lower highs there in Coinbase. So not going to rush into that trade. CCL was a good scalp trade. Great shot for Franz there, pointing out AMD. I think you look for longs in some of these stronger names out there if you can find them. And AMD certainly looks pretty strong to me.
I'm not short a firm yet. Oh, we were waiting. We were at the wrong price. Oh, damn it. Just putting the wrong. I put 49.80s in there. Oh man, it was 48.80s, my guy. All right, so here it comes. Hopefully get this fill. Oh no. All right, I'm just gonna take a small. Oh no. I'm like, why am I not loaded up here on a firm? But okay, that's too bad. We should have had that 90 fill or whatever that was up there. That's too bad. We were waiting at 80s, but it's right here right now. We were actually waiting at 88. It actually only went to 86, it looks like. So, oh, sorry, I'm not even on a firm. I'm still on Google. Oh, we just got out of Google there at 140, so let's go. That's a good trade. That's about 80 cents right there. Here's a firm as I'm talking about it and looking at Google. So there it is. So we just got the short again on this name. It's too bad because, again, it didn't matter. I had the wrong price anyways, but we were trying to go shorter up here as we discussed. So we just punched a little bit more there. We're only short at 60, so it's a flat trade now. Let's see if a firm wants to get back into the downside. I say yes. Oh, man, this getting out of Google is probably going to haunt me a little bit. I do have a new trade alert, though, if you like this. Let's just go. What's up to Obi in the back? I actually haven't seen him. He's probably there. But we're going to short Amazon right now against this 60 level or so. That high looks to be 65, 66. Let's short Amazon and see if that one works out and go over to Adair at the big desk.
Quite a few small caps moving right now, including Annexon, ANNX. This one got an upgrade from BofA Securities and had the price target raised from $4 to $6, up about 27% right now. We also have DMK Pharmaceuticals. DMK is the ticker for this one, up about 40% after regaining the full rights to commercialize a form of naloxone. So keep an eye on this name as well. And last but not least, I mentioned this one earlier, but still moving to the upside. IREN up about 24% right now. Iris Energy, this is a Bitcoin mining name, announcing that they have a fully funded expansion plan. Keep an eye on all of these names, guys.
Thank you very much, Derek. Two things. One, just reloaded on Nikola, but did not. CCL. CCL breaks VWAP. We get right out. We said it was going to be a tight stop. The call's still happening. Got a couple of profit takes in there, but unfortunately, you're going to see it break that VWAP. That was the thesis of the trade. Underneath that 1880 level on CCL. Nikola just reloaded for the first time in a hot minute. And by a hot minute, I mean like 30 minutes ago. And we got the short here, 86.5. It just came right back into the same level. Saw a few sellers in there and joined some, but most of it's gone now. So I think the 87, we'll see what happens at 87. I don't really see a lot of size on the level 2 there. Most of it's sitting at like 88. So if there's not any big sellers here at 87, I'll probably just back off if it breaks that level and look for another re-entry point. It did get down to 84, so it gave you like 3 points, risking half to one, just over 1 if it breaks that level. But I do not want this getting all the way back to 90, and I'm still holding the same position. I'd get out if it holds above 87, and then look for another place to short it, which is probably that 90 level. Mullen's still being Mullen. There's no flat bottom break yet. I just feel like if 7 goes, we're going to see 6 on this stock. It just hasn't happened yet. And AMD, Yeah, so much for looking for the dip buy in AMD. Might have to be a little bit more aggressive the next time it consolidates. That stock is now high of the day, pressing 139. Let's go back to Adara.
Dutch Bros running right now. BROS is the ticker for this one, up 4.5% after Wedbush has added it to its best ideas list of stock picks in the restaurant category. Keep an eye on BROS.
Bros. Okay, yeah, we've looked at that a couple times before. All right, so just a quick update there. We did get some, I mean, Affirm just dropped back into 40 again, so we took that out on a reloaded position up there near 75. I think you got to, be patient with this one if you're waiting for the short. It just keeps on getting bought up, So I don't. You're going to have to be a little frugal with this. Like if it breaks through 49, you're going to watch out because that run to 50, I feel like is imminent, especially on that break. And then here comes another one, as I guess Amazon wants to get going here again. So we'll watch. We're short now at 43. It's forced 5 cents out of the money. And I'm not going to panic about this, but we do have some shares on board here. I don't want to necessarily get out there. What is that? Oh, that's 35s. Okay, where are we short? 43s. All right, let's put something down there at 43 if we're able to get that. That would be great. Or no, not 43, sorry, 33. What am I doing? Cancel that. Down there at 33 for that 10 cents, but it looks like it's trying to go upside right now. So we may not get this coming through here on Amazon. The market looks like it's going now. So, the Grinch was here. Now he's not. Look at this. It's like basically all the way down, like 20 straight marks down, right? Minutes, and then straight up the next 20 minutes. So it's like a V-shaped recovery intraday right now. We don't have any longs. Our net is still cooking right now. We just got that Affirm trade up there at 85. So maybe it'll fall down, maybe it won't. Let's put some bids just in case it does, because obviously we have a position that we're happy with now. So if it comes in, great. If it fades out through 49 or fades up through 49, we'll get out. But here comes Affirm. Let's see what we can do on this one. We now have some shares.
Okay, Apple, which has been relatively strong pretty much this entire time. This is the one stock that I did like that's not to the short side, that is not a crappy EV company. But opening range bottom, 195.5. Oh, sorry, 830 bottom, 195.5. 195.75 was the opening bottom. So looking for the short in that window, which is the half to the 75. From there, maybe VWAP. So I just take into it. I also reloaded Nikola, but we just went over that one, so no point doing it again. If we get above the 75 level, then I give it up and look for a short at VWAP here. But the low of the day stands 75 cents lower, risking about 25.2, just slightly more than that there on Apple. This is a stock that I was bearish on pretty much when we sat down, just based on that 200 level rejection the other day. So if it can curl here, great. If it can't, I'd back off to another level. I'm not completely convinced we're taking out the top in the market. And if I'm going to try the long, I'd rather it be in a stock that was strong the entire time, like an AMD. That makes much more sense to me. I just saw Alan said everybody's short Affirm.
That's probably because we're short over here. I agree, Alan. Let's go, man. We are now 25 cents in the money on a big position for me on Affirm. So you're right if that's what you're thinking, if you're thinking like I am. And we're also really banking out right now. Wow. I just, like I was saying, man, Obi, Neil, whoever's beside us, let's just stick with what we're doing. There goes Amazon right now to the downside. Good trade as we loaded that up. Good trade on Affirm. And again, we said about being patient on this one. I'm just going to start to get out, man. We have an upsized position. It came right in to where we thought. If this does fall down, though, if this falls down, we want to make sure we have something on board. So no more outs now. We're short now. We're short at 85. Let's put another, actually I said no more outs. Let's put one more out down there in the 40s because that's where it's bounced off from. And let's just see if we can, there it is. Let's just see if we can get this to work. As Amazon right now, 25 cents in the money. Affirm now 25 cents in the money. And we're almost back to where we were post-Tesla mess. Google, nice trade. Disney, trying to float. Oh, Disney just floated down again. We should get some out here. But I'm more concerned about Amazon and Affirm right now. But Disney, a nice little move back into that level. So let's get some out here at 68 if we can, and watch out for this. Here we go. Our net is blowing up right now, guys. Nice move on Affirm, and that's what we're talking about. Spin it. Nice move for Affirm as we're coming back down into 48. Let's see if we can crush it lower. Also, Amazon. Nice move on this one. Man, did we call this? Wow. I am so excited for 2024 and trading and everything. You guys have absolutely no idea. Well, you probably have an idea. But all right. Was that no, not a call for a dare yet. We have crypto coming, or was it? We have crypto at 10:30.
In a couple of minutes, but that was pretty quick because 195.5 we just took on Apple. It just got to the quarters, so that's going to be the first out at 1-to-1. If it gets to evens, going to throw a bid down in front there. The other reload that we put on, well, Apple wasn't the reload. That was the first time I actually traded Apple tape, but the reload was on Nikola. That broke back down beneath VWAP. So 86.5 into 85. So we're able to take 1.5 there. Looking for the low of the day on Nikola. I still think we can get there. This market, if it's going to be sick, then the sickest name should stay sick. At least that's what I think. I don't know if this is going to end up like a huge flush day, but if you try to stick with the weak names, or at least to keep price levels, I think you can be absolutely fine. So I'm going to stick with those if we do get the opportunity to. You never know if you're going to be able to get back in at key price levels. Sometimes the market gives you a bit of a gift. What you should always try to do is take it. Now, if there's strength in this market, we already pointed out AMD showing signs of strength. 138 is VWAP. So if it pulls back into that, might look for a long trade on AMD off of VWAP there. But yeah, we just got Apple short. That's looking like it's going to be good. I think it'll get down to 195 should be the next stop, and then we go from there. The only thing I'm looking for along would be AMD, and it still has to set up off this 138 level. Is the market rolling back over? Stick with it.
Oh man, this is like shades of yesterday again, where we're just gonna sit down and relax. We are now at the highest spot we've been at all day right now. Sound that damn alarm. This is a green day and a big one, and we're not talking about Dookie. All right, there it is. Amazon, nice move to the downside right now. We're just gonna cover some more here, man. I mean, this is a big one right now to the downside for me and Amazon. This is part of why we're on right now, man. This Amazon trade was really the one for me. Short, and now down in. And not only that, man. Shout out to everybody in the for believing in the trade, right? We talked about Affirm. We talked about building this position. We knew this is the name that we wanted short. We knew we had the target at 49. So this is absolutely gold. I hope you guys are out of this or in it, but starting to get a little bit out as the market just had a nice pullback. So I'm only in a third of this now. I just punched some more out there at 40, and of course it rips up when I do that. But so you know we're out a little bit there on Affirm. Here it comes. Let's just bring it back now. Maybe we're done. Let's just not get any more out, just in case it does fly in there back down to the downside. So all right, that's Affirm. We're in it. I like the short. We're gonna hold it. Disney, good reload, man. I mean, we got that. Well, we missed the reload, but that would have been a good reload as it's come back in just a little bit here. DIS for a nice play. And then, honestly, we're just sitting back, man. I hope Obi has this on Amazon right now. But this move is now 70 cents and still getting worse right there. What's up, CompuCare? What's up to Christopher? Thank you so much. Chef's kiss on that Dookie reference. Thank you so much. Right back at you as well, Christopher. CompuCare team, thank you so much for all the nice words there. And yeah, Ponzi's here as well. Everybody's in the building. It's going to be a good one. You mentioned Mara, which is right on.
It's on cue.
Yeah, on cue.
If you're not going to have it, I'm just going to eat this, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'll have it. I didn't even, I'm too busy.
It's time for the crypto update, everybody. Hang on to your butts and your shorts, except for Mara. Apparently it's strong.
I actually have Mara pulled up right now, so yeah, perfect timing here. Up, it was up at 6%, pulled down a little bit, up 5.6%. Some of these other crypto names in the upside as well, but Mara is really strong crypto-related stock this morning. Bitcoin itself, here definitely we were earlier at pre-market at that 44,000 area, pulling back a little bit, 43,800. Some of these crypto stocks a bit mixed today in terms of performance. Sorry, not crypto stocks, cryptocurrencies here. Ethereum around that 2,200 area. Bitcoin dancing around that 43,800, 44 kind of range. Solana though really strong. This one above $80 at up 8.35% right now, guys.
Yeah, Mara has a chance to take out the top, but I want 44,000 to go. Like that's going to be the key price level. If it gets through there, sorry, I was just looking at AMD. If we get through there, then Mara taking out the high of the day looks like an easy break into 24 even, and then see how far it can go. Just took another out there on, you know what? That's Nikola. It just bounced at 85, so I got a fill there, kind of moved it down. There's an even level, couple of 100,000 shares sitting at 85. Even if it chews through that, I'll wait for 84 to get another fill. But you got to take profit when it comes to the downside for you. That MSAI, it is absolutely donezo, but it's not in our system, so I can't really show it to you, that chart. That's that small cap that debuted there today. AMD starting to pull back and not getting very far. This is on one. I don't know necessarily the particular catalyst for AMD on Micron earnings, but this is on the 15-minute. It's all green since finding that 137.5 bottom. Until it gets to 140, I'd be looking for the long. There just has not been a dip into VWAP here, which I usually like. So 138.5. If you go 137.5, 138, 138.5 would be the next stop. I'll look for a scalp trade off of that level for AMD. That's the one thing I like to the long side that isn't a crypto name right now.
All right, I'm just canceling all my stops because honestly, man, everything is just like way good right now. I mean, look at this Affirm, man. We just got a 48 bid right there. Like, you're not, honestly, that was the trade for me. Let's wait to see if it can still work out. Disney's still here as well. All right, let's look at Intel. Intel was a name that was on the sticky note again today. I like the short, kind of like what Neil was saying there with Micron earnings. Nothing to do with Intel. The funny thing is I was waiting at 80s, honestly. I just canceled it. 46.80. I mean, we wrote down here short 47, so I'm going to be at 46.80 all day. And we were even there in the pre-market and it didn't get it. So yeah, it just didn't come up to us. We missed that short by 3 cents. It's going to happen, man. Sometimes we get saved by a couple pennies, but right there we did not. And so what's been positive today for us? Affirm, Greensville, the best stock for me. Amazon, second best stock. That's going to be a green stock, right? Google, JP Morgan right there is going to be a green stock for us. Mara, which is crazy. We're actually going to be red on this stock because it did break that last little bit and then it went back into the downside. And then, of course, Palantir, the rest is history with this one. That's going to be a green one. And then Tesla right there will be red as well, as we just haven't been able to get the feels right here with Tesla. But as we say on the show all the time, man, your ideas are one thing, the P&L is something else. It's if you got to take the trades when the trades are there and you got to get out when the profit lies, right? And so that's what I'm trying to do here. And that was a good out right there. Go so bang, bang, bang on Disney right now. And the reason why I say that is despite all of these trades today, and I have 102 fills so far today. We're at our highest level, and it's 10:34 right now. We're at our highest level of the day net-wise, so everything is working out for us, and it's just like, even though you get hits, and I'm probably trading too many names today, but even if you get hits, try to stay the course with what you're doing. And stay confident, and then don't let that one trade be your last trade. That's something that Neil and I and Sharif and Adair and we all talk about over and over again is like,
whether you're
stay in the game, because both of us, Neil, we both could have got shut down on Tesla for sure. We both had that 250, but the thing is like, if we put our full default or something like that there, then when it breaks through, you're probably done. Like, you're not going to hold that all the way to 248 and change. So you got to be smart with your positions and take them out when appropriate, right? And so risk managing, and that's why we stay alive. And we've just gone over a few things, and that's how you have 50-cent winner on Affirm, same on Amazon, Disney, JP Morgan. They're all right here.
Speaking of Tesla, by the way.
And is Tesla ripping now?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Only because it obviously, it just made a move up. Now the good news for me is if Tesla goes up and these other two things, I wasn't going to say pieces of what, but if those two names don't bounce when Tesla goes, I'm talking Nikola, maybe Mullen's trying to go for its own reasons, then I think we got a good one. AMD did not get the dip into 138.5. I'll try to get it this second time through. And I remembered I can have my stop in place before I get the position, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. As mentioned, Tesla looking strong. Look for the initial dip buy. It showed strength, got the long, it stopped out the low. Did not jump back into it. Didn't really have 48 as a level, had 46 as a level for Tesla. If it dropped another couple of bucks, I'd probably take another shot at it. But as that goes higher, yeah, this sucker goes lower. 85, that buyer, it was bouncing 85s, failed at VWAP, and then just took it right out. So I'm looking for 84 as the next stop down. And Apple, I think their virtual reality is going to be just fine. But right now, this is a stock to me that's rejecting $200. And it's been taking the stairs to the downside. It just bounced off of yesterday's bottom, which is significant. because it's double bottom there as well. If we get back up to VWAP, I probably try a reload at that price. But if this holds bid over 195, I'm going to get out and look for the next trade in Apple. But I do want to hold on to this short as long as it has a chance to break out these lows. And last one, but not least, Mullen. It just tried to get back up to 750. It's showing strength off 7 even. I'm just going to leave my stop in at 65 and then hang on to see if it breaks that 7 even level. But this is a name that I think for the next week or so, I'm going to be favoring shorts on the reverse split. Doesn't mean that I have to short it every day, but I'm not looking for any longs until there's a really significant downward move in Mullen.
Wow, HUT is... So the thing about this HUT is still in the same areas, actually, right now. So up 5%. You know, we talked about that short right there. I don't know, man. Bitcoin, we just had that little talk there about Bitcoin still hovering around 43.7 or so. So we'll have to watch out for that. I got a little scared there because my net kind of went a little bit against. Not against me, obviously, we're still green today. It's just that went up and then it came right back in again. So I did take some out there at 15s on Amazon. So we do have that out. The one stock that the next bid I have on Affirm, I see some people in the chat. And again, thank you so much for talking about this trade. We had it yesterday and it was a doozy, so we're going to have it again today. My next fill, for those of you asking, is going to be not rocket science. See this little level there? It's called VWAP. We're going to get out there, 47.90. So let's see if this one does want to continue its downside press. And then right now into the Dollar Club. Welcome, JP Morgan. And Jamie Dimon, you know, like for you, you can come dressed however you want. There it is right now. It's $1 in the money. Thank you, JP Morgan. We'll do that. But it's everyone's favorite segment, and it's right now. It's lunch money. No, Neil's is lunch money. This is lunchtime. Hopefully we can get, I know there's a lot of demand for lunch money. That's coming back, I believe, in the new year.
We got plans for the new year.
So that'll be good. So today, it hasn't been chicken pretty much all week, but today.
Seriously?
Yeah, man. It was salmon. It was beef. It
That's
was.
Of course, it's salmon when I'm not here.
Maybe it was chicken one day. I can't remember. I don't remember if we ever went with chicken this week. I think we might have gone with a grilled or roasted something. I don't know. Anyways, today's is barbecue chicken legs, and that should be fun. We actually have a nice. I don't know, Brendan. Is that up there over there on that screen? The background over there. That picture of the chicken. Yeah. See, wait for Brendan to put up, and then we'll put that up. Thank you to Fabian. You don't know about it yet. Okay, so it's barbecued grilled chicken legs with Matt Hasselbeck potatoes. What is Hasselbeck potatoes? We'll have to look that up. And who in the chat knows what? Oh, by the way, our net right now is the market is falling down as Affirm looking at 48 right now. Yeah, Hasselbeck potatoes with sweet, nor have I, with sweet corn succotash. So I like the succotash, that's for sure. But what we like right now is the net. And we are starting to get to the upside right now on said net. As Disney, it's Disney that's cranking. Nice look at Disney. Nice move down to the downside right now. So that's going to be a good one. Let's punch that out and let's go bang right now because Disney, there it is, man. We did it there. This has just been a great one. Oh, Hasselbeck are sliced and roasted with butter. Okay, what's up, Rich Naples? What's up to all the chefs in there? Shout out to Chef Joe and everybody right there. So that would be a good one. Do we have the picture? Let's show it. There it is. It's a Trader TV Live branded chicken right there. You cannot buy any, and hopefully we'll release merchandise. I think that would be hilarious. I would love a t-shirt looking like that.
I mean, ideally we take when you serve it, you're supposed to take the string off when you serve it, but that looks delicious. We clearly like chicken around here. Not just going to throw that out there.
Affirm.
I love it. So good work there, Fabian, as always, making it fun. By the way, lows of the day incoming once again on Nikola. It's the easiest 2.5% that you're going to see, which is fading the stock. If we had got 90s, great, but you have to take the trade that's going to be out there for you. So rinse it and repeat it. If this market wants to break down, we got a good one, but the market just bounced again. Looks like Apple. Hold on. Was that a call for?
Yeah, so they're at the big screen with Sector Watch.
Yeah.
A lot of sectors with some outsized strength here, including, of course, we have electronic technology here. With the exception of Apple, a lot of the major names here very strong after Micron's earning these semiconductors rallying in response. We also have quite a bit of strength here in technology services. Microsoft pulling back a bit, the rest of these really strong, including CRM here with the Morgan Stanley upgrade. Finance, really strong. Health technology, very strong. Retail, trade, pretty strong as well. Consumer services, commercial services, consumer durables. In terms of a little bit more weakness or mixed performance, energy minerals a bit flat right now on the day. Communications flat as well, guys.
It's interesting, like how green the overall board is. But if you think about the actual direction of the market has been down since the economic number. Overall, that's why that percentage move on the day can be a little bit deceiving. I just missed the dip by about 8 cents there on AMD. I was sitting just under 60, should have been over 60. Obviously, that would have been nice, but AMD continues to hold on to its strength. The good news, though, at least for this short, is Apple not really making a big bounce off of the low. So if it puts in a lower high, there might be a decent re-entry point into Apple for the short side of the trade. But AMD does really look like a long. And we talked about Mara maybe breaking that high of the day. No mas. It's kind of holding VWAP here, not doing too much. I look over, Bitcoin doesn't want 44,000 right now. Wants no move just yet. Let's go back to the desk. We've got Adara again.
Just a note in Coinbase here, as reported by CNBC, they're securing crypto license in France and expanding further in Europe amid a rift with the SEC and the SEC negotiations. CNBC reporting here on Coinbase. Not moving too much right now, but just a note, guys.
I mean, it could break out. It's just, I'm looking, it's the same chart as Mara. Like just hanging near the highs, looking for a reason to break. I'm not seeing anything on Bitcoin that's suggesting that it's imminent, but I'm tracking those. AMD for looking for a long. I keep saying it over and over again because that's a strong stock. And then both of these crypto names could be taking out that top. Just a matter of it actually happening. You don't want to rush. As I said, the market's been stair-stepping it down since the number. So looking for opportunities to go long to me means buying some dips if we can get them. Oh, and one more that I mentioned it, but I don't have it, so it doesn't really matter. That's ARM. As I shifted focus to AMD, could have just stuck with ARM. It ended up breaking 71, then holding 71. It's at 71.5. So if this is going to continue its strong move to the upside, there's plenty of room on ARM. When I said the gap fill, someone asked me what did I mean by the gap fill. I just meant yesterday's move. So the top of yesterday's move was 73, and then if it took out 71, it still had a couple of dollars to get to 73. So plenty of room for ARM to go higher. Once again, a pretty strong stock. I love the company. Should have had this 71 break to be sure. Hopefully someone took it. This has been a great, great stock the last little bit here. And all it's doing is holding its last consolidation level since the last breakout above that 68. So in the higher time frame, it still looks great.
I said I wasn't sure of Obi being here, but I got to say congratulations, Obi. Obi is number 2 in the office today, so congratulations, Obi, on that one. I know he's going to be filling in for me tomorrow. He could talk all about his trades right now tomorrow with you, but I'm sure it's Amazon, and I'll leave that for him today on that one. And speak about Amazon, we just got some more out right there at 152.90. So that was a good fill for us down there at 152.90. We also hit a firm down there at VWAP where we said. So we've got, again, a firm's trying to get $1. We already had JP Morgan. And it's really this trade that we probably should not have gotten rid of. I mean, this Google buy down there at 139 is absolutely ridiculous, and I got out at 140. So again, we did it to ourselves again by getting out a little bit too early, but that's okay. It is what it is. We did get some more out on Disney down there at the bottom as well, so that was good right there. Yeah, man, congrats to Obi in the chat. That's very, very true. So good job on that one as me and him went back and forth yesterday about a lot of things. So that was a lot of fun. Thank you for the love in that one as well. I might get out another piece of Amazon. I mean, the market's testing VWAP right now, so I think that we'll do this. Okay, there it just tanked into us. I think we got a 5 or a 6 there. What did we get? Now we got an 8. Okay, well, that was not a good fill. As it's coming back just a little bit, I'm trying to lighten up on a lot of these trades, not just because it's coming up to 11 o'clock, but just the market right here. We already had that move. I feel like, hovering around VWAP. Remember, we opened the day right here. So forget about all this volume. That's from those numbers, right? So we opened the day around 16,930. We're at 16,9 right now. So it's like we're just kind of dancing around, and we're at VWAP. So it's not overly exciting right now, in my opinion, which is why we need to start getting out of more and more. And did I even, oops, I just put a bid on Palantir there at 57. Let's see if that gets filled, because that's making a move back to VWAP as well. So we do want to start to cash out of some of these. There it goes. Of course, we get to 57, so we'll hit the sirens on that one. So yeah, we're just going to sit back and relax. I do want to see Tesla make that move back up, and then I think about fading that name. I'm just trying to think about some different ideas, because look, we're right here at the 200 again on Tesla and on VWAP. It's just a matter of, I don't know what the market's going to do, because right now the market's, like if the market was down here, I'd have no problem shorting this on Tesla. But for right now, let's just chill out, like we said, and wait for a better opportunity. Right now, everything's kind of in the middle, in my opinion.
Well, the market's stair-stepping it still to the downside. So if I saw something setting up for a short entry, I'd probably go and do it. But the next thing to watch out for, Mullen, I decided not to reload it after bouncing off that 7 level. Looks like it wants to take out the local high. If it gets back to 8 even, fair enough. But if it gets through 765, I'm just going to get out. That's been the stop since we had the secondary short on Mullen. I want to be in this all day long, but it has to set back up for another short trade. Apple still looks pretty solid to the downside. AMD doesn't even want to dip at this point. You can forget VWAP, at least temporarily, and 138.5. It might just be taking out this top. And then, as I said, I only want to be long this stock until it gets to 140. But if I don't see a good setup, then we just wait for 140. You know, 140 resistance on AMD is going to speak for itself. When it gets there, it gets there. I just saw a lot of people talking about the solar names. So Enphase, I mean, you can look at TAN if you want, but they are strong today. We saw the chips, we saw some of the crypto names be strong, but you're seeing a good move to the upside. 4% on Enphase here. It has yet to take out the high. If it gets through that top, this is a name that it wouldn't take much to get a good rally going. If you do see, like on the daily chart, if it were to take out this high, it's got at least a few dollars to the 140 level if it takes out the top, and then the 200 period moving average sits there at 148. So there's a lot of names that can go. This one is going to be on watch as well. Alex asking about SoFi, saying it looks like it's ready to go. I had SoFi. Again, I was looking at this as a missed opportunity that wasn't here the last couple of days. Like, it goes exactly to $10 2 days in a row and pulls back. So I think without question, if it gets to 10, that is a resistance point. It just doesn't seem to want to be doing anything right now. If it gets through the high of the day here, great, but the volume is pretty meager, and I'm not really seeing anything on the chart that stands out. So it's more of a scalp play than anything else. But that $10 level, I'm all for it. If we get to 10 bucks, I probably short like 97s, 98, 99s to be short. Just looking at the last couple of days, you're going to miss trades like that. But 10 even for resistance, that's pretty easy. Oop, just got the dip by an arm. So we like AMD. We missed ARM. Now we're coming into ARM looking for the stairs to the upside here. 73 is going to be the hard stop. If it gets up there, we're out. But I'm looking to take the stairs up as the market's going down. This has been strong all day.
ARM has been such a beast. That's been a great one. I mean, probably the best IPO in last little while.
A long time.
We were always looking at Mobileye, but I think Mobileye just dropped down a little bit, actually. We talked about that on the recap show. I'll have to double check that one. That could be incorrect. One name that I did not buy more, and this has been one of the buys that I made on a dip about a month ago, and it was Oracle. Or was it the last earnings? Anyways, we were long back in here. Yeah, I guess it was a month ago, back in October, in those bottoms, and we were long at 104. And then it went all the way to 117. I'm trying to build this position. What I'm getting at is I missed those bottoms again at 100 on Oracle. And I was just looking at this as a possible short. We just had a nice move up into 106 again. Look at 106 here on the 20-minute chart. So 106 is looking pretty good. Again, wow. What is something, hold on a second. Something's tanking here. Oh yeah, shout out to Ryan. Thank you for the nice words about Affirm. It's Affirm, man. Now that's $1 in the money and still going more. As here we go, holy crap. This is what we're talking about, man. Stay short today. It's in the building now. It's not another one. Affirm is one. Amazon's another one. Disney's one. And we got 2 more, JP Morgan and Palantir. We're on 5 shorts right now, tweeted out pretty much all of these positions. So hopefully you guys are watching this. Let's go back over to the desk with Money Talks.
DXY here moving to the downside, actually just below that 102 area. Now we're at 101.95, more or less, dancing around that area. As you can see, we did get some economic data this morning. In case you missed it, we did get the USA GDP quarter over quarter for Q3. This one came in a little bit lower than expected, so 4.9% versus the estimate of 5.2%. We also got US initial job claims that came in also a bit lower than expected, so 205,000 versus the expected 214,000. And last but not least, at 10 a.m., we got another number. This was the leading index month over month for November. This one came in at negative 0.5, or negative 0.5 versus negative 0.4 expected. So keep an eye on these names, guys. Or sorry, keep an eye on the USD, guys.
All right. Oh yeah, that's right. Yesterday we had shout out to Edwin there. I know, do you want to talk about Pfizer or no? I'll need to just do this for a second here.
Go for it.
CRSP, CRISPR Therapeutics. We had Chris Brecher on yesterday, and he shorted this one into the afternoon because I was talking about a firm, and he was giving me credit, but it doesn't matter. Oil on the bounce there over the last little while. You know, I saw gas yesterday for everybody here in the GTA 131, which was incredible. I haven't seen that in a long time. But anyways, CRISPR Therapeutics was a name that he nailed yesterday in the afternoon. And again, that same drop, like at 1:30, man, everything just gave it up. That was 64 all the way down to 60. So that was pretty much equivalent move there in a firm. This, again, another ARC name. So I think the market, like I said, man, we're here to be a Grinch today. We talked about a downside move. We're in 5 shorts right now, and we're at the highest spot we've been at all day. I think CRISPR breaks this. So if you guys are asking about a long, I don't think so. I feel like this market, I mean, Neil mentioned it as well. I feel like I just want to stay short for now, at least until we get above VWAP and probably take out this high of 16,930. Disney still moving around. I'm just hearing, well, here comes Disney back in right now. The Disney board, I'm just hearing in my ear being discussed on CNBC. But this is a nice move back in here for DIS. So again, let's just put this one in our pipe now and just start to get it out, man, because we smoked this one today and it's 10:53. In 6 minutes, we're going over to the big desk over there with Adara and Sharif. What do we got going on today, guys? Futures and ETFs, which I want to talk a lot more about ETFs because I feel like I'm going to turn into a passive investor and just start buying the living you-know-what out of ETFs. Okay.
At least 2.
Yeah, at least some of them, at least the Qs and at least the SPYs. And then I like SMH. We've talked about that. I think that the semis are a good little level there as well, especially because we did sell, and now it's probably not going to look good. We did get out. You weren't here, but okay, it's still 490. I get out at 494. Again, 15% of my NVIDIA long. And yesterday it only went to 481. So I feel like I'm going to look back at this and it's going to be like at 550. The problem with getting out of positions is the market doesn't let you get back in. You know, sometimes they do, but it's like, it's like NVIDIA could go down $50 and you're just waiting for that magical $400 level, and then it just pops right back up. And the next thing you know, it's at 550. But anyways, yeah, Dow Jones is a good one. DJA, well, it's not DJIA. You can do the diamonds, the DIA, but maybe that's a symbol, DGIA. I don't think so.
It is DGIA, Dow Jones Industrial Lab.
That's what it stands for, but I don't think that's a tradable name.
We call it the diamonds though, because of the DIA.
Oh yeah, there is something. There's no volume on that. Here, look.
It's the DI. Well, you have it.
We knew what it was. They're covered. Okay, so is there something about this one? I just want to copy because it's in the chat. It's a covered call ETF, so I guess maybe you're getting. But look, not much volume. 14,000. This is the one that I would choose. But the thing is, the diamonds. There it is, right here.
I don't like the Dow.
I know, but it's also at all-time highs, as we know, as well. But this one, a little bit more volume with 126 million, a lot more liquidity here. Look at this move. 52-week lows to 52-week highs in 40 days.
My primary,
unbelievable.
For me, the primary long is the SPY, and then this year I've been buying the Qs because I like tech, and there's none. Well, I don't know, whatever. I've been buying the Qs this year, dollar cost averaging it. I want to get to Pfizer quickly here, just because. I mean, the market's down and this is relatively strong, but if you try to remember, it's really just filling in this gap, and sorry for the wicks here, but they are what they are. I'm not going to get rid of all these wicks. It'll take me way too long and it's not worth it. But it's just filling back in this gap with a 28.3, which was support, is now 3 days worth of resistance. If this takes out the top, I think you take the stairs to the upside on that one. Apple is almost $1 as it continues to slide, and just looking for where this can get to. If you go all the way back to Monday, which is not that far, 194.30 is the current low. On 194.30, the current low on the week. If it breaks that, I want to hold on for dear life. What just came out? No, Mullen. I have to give up Mullen temporarily. It just broke back above that 65 level, so I'm out of Mullen. I'll probably take another shot there. The 15 minutes going to be useless here. If it fails an $8 break, I probably jump back into this. I only want to be short this day. If it goes to the moon, it's going to the moon without me. If it breaks $8, I'm looking for a short at 9. And if it breaks $9, I'm looking for a short at 10. And kind of vice versa, and over and rinse and repeat and all that good stuff. But until it happens, I'll just be patient, wait for it to make the next short setup. It could be an $8 break, I don't know, but we'll see where it does go. CCL's not at the high of the day yet, but if it does break it, I'm there. I was at a VWAP short. If it takes out the top, great. They had earnings this morning, and then the conference call is already done on CCL. It is at a big resistance zone, though. So if it takes out 30s, you got to watch out for like the 50 level up top. So I think I'd rather risk like 3 or 4 cents. And if it breaks this, then you got like 15 and 20 cents that you can get up to the top if it breaks that 30 level upside. But it'll be a tight stop because it's going into overhead resistance on the daily chart when it comes to CCL. ARM's trying to hold on to 71 even as the market goes down. Apple's still working. Nikola, I want to reload, but if I don't get a chance, we'll just hold on to what we got. If I can't get 87s again, it might just turn into a scalp trade, 86 to 84 throughout lunchtime on Nikola. And yeah, Pfizer, I'd add that to the camp of longs, as it looks like it's going to take out that 28.30 top. Strong name today. At some point, you knew this was going to hit a bottom and catch a bottom. It wasn't going to go down forever. Looks like it's making its run now.
Yeah, Pfizer, I like that name for sure. Again,
I got some at 26 change. I don't know.
Yeah, me too. I think I was like 26.50 or so. I like that name for sure, Pfizer. Good name there. Okay, just real quick, man. Because we got to go in just a minute and a half. So right now, this bottom for a firm, I do have a bid down here, right where I put this, 20s. So we'll see if it comes back in. I just want to see that low. You know, we only have like less than 10% left. So a lot of the outs were right into here, like 25s and 26s when we were like really like starting to panic. Remember? I was like, oh my God, we got to get out. But we always do that. So that's something there that, yeah, good trade. Let's see if it falls down. Look, we can still, like I said, you know, we're pretty good right now. We've hit our goals. We're doing well. And although we do have some negative trades on board today, we talked about that with Mara and Tesla. But, you know, we've made it back with everything else. So it's all been good. Look at Tesla. Remember I said this was another trade that we could have had on just seconds ago. We talked about shorting this at 251. It did go all the way down to 250, but now we're starting to go on Tesla. Again, I don't know if there's news or something. This is just such a nuts market, man. Look at Amazon right now, trying to take down these lows as well. 152.50. Let's put a bid on Amazon at 152.50 because if we're able to get that, then howdy do. This has been a great, great day for the shorts and some good long opportunities as well. I know you're shorting that Apple, or you're still in it, good. And then ARM, I mean, there's another example on that ARM long. And I still think, guys, honestly, the market's up 0.62. I think Tesla being up 1.62, this is probably a great break right now on TSLA. I'm going to just regroup on everything.
Before we go, Alibaba trying to break out.
Okay, I like Alibaba too.
I'm kind of, you know what, shoot, I'm missing some data on that.
Just so much. Yesterday we had this Alibaba long. Oh yeah, there it goes. Wow, yeah.
So this is, it's kind of a double top here, 75.5. If it can get through that, there's a good move at least into 76. I'm using my 3 minute because my 15 minutes missing data, but back above VWAP. So you're looking for relative strength. This Chinese ADR tends to have it just because every time I look at Alibaba, the next thing I do is look at Pinduoduo, and this is a Baba story. PDD is at the low of the day. So this is just an Alibaba. I don't know if there's specific news to Alibaba, but PDD is actually breaking and looking weak today. So, okay, Baba should be the one. Look for VWAP, kind of a trade. ARM just got back up to 71.60. I'll take it out in front of 72, and if it breaks out from there, we'll hold on. There's an obvious level at 73, and once you break 73, there's nothing there because this wick that you see on the second day in ARM didn't actually happen. So it's that's bad data. 73 is the actual top on ARM. If it gets to that price, congratulations. I'll be happy. My one regret this year, well, I said this before. If you like a stock time in the market is better than timing the market. So I waited until horrible prices to buy ARM when I could have just bought it on the initial dip. I thought the stock was going to fall like 50%, and it did not. But we're into it now. Hopefully it can get higher, but this market has been weak. As we go on over to Learn to Trade, it's Sharif, it's Adara, it's ETFs, it's futures. You know them, you love them.
Happy holidays.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to Learn How to Trade. That is your girl, Adara.